I would. Okay, we're all good.
Awesome.
So I do want to hear what you guys think my presentation is about, since I.
Movies of some kind.
Yeah.
Weird
really
movies.
low budget weird horror movies.
Yeah.
You are pretty close. So let's talk about my presentation. Zombies are scary. And which one scared me, Jay, the most?
Yeah. Oh my god, you are
I love this. It's so on cue.
Guys, this was a presentation for sure. Okay, so something you guys might not know about me. I've been keeping quiet for a while. I am really scared of zombies. I know, big shock, but yeah, I'm terrified of zombies. I've been scared of zombies since I was a kid. In fact, I've included some things I found while I was packing, which are my diary entries. This is 2012, 2013. It says, "Dear Diary, we're in Calgary, but my mom and rodeo aren't here. I'm having nightmares about zombies. I've always been scared of zombies, but it's never been this bad."
Oh, whoa.
Wait, it says I think it's because my mom isn't here now.
Yeah, I was really sad.
Who's rodeo?
It's my
Is it a
dog.
dog?
Here's one from 2014. I'm going to paraphrase this. It says, "My mom took my phone. I'm so scared. I'm so sad. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I feel safer with it because if a zombie comes, they'll leave me alone when I shine a light at it." I had a plan, and just in case it happened. It was, it was a big moment for me. So, something to know about this.
Oh my god.
This fear extends to basically all zombies, from the most generic cartoon ones to the most classical. Anything that is called a zombie, I'm basically like, I have this instinctual fear response to it. Here are some zombies that scared me from media I watched when I was a kid.
I just realized
5
what the
points if
second
you can
one
name
is.
them all.
One of them looks like
I don't
Outlast,
know.
but that's just because of the camera.
It is Outlast. It is indeed Outlast.
At least one, maybe two of them are from Clone Wars.
One of them is from Clone Wars. Yes, there's a zombie episode of Clone Wars.
Whatever.
Freaked me out so
Oh,
bad.
that's
to last
Pop Tropica.
Yeah, exactly. Pop Tropica.
Pop Tropica scared the shit out of me.
I
I've never-
recognize the first one, but I don't remember
Casper's
the name of it.
Scare School.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, I watched that. I'm now realizing from my presentation, whenever I was saying my left, it's you guys' right.
Yeah.
So just reverse it in your heads. But anyways, the second to my right, your left, that one is actually really scary.
Yeah, they're really
What
freaky.
is that one?
So in order, we have Casper's Scare School, Pop Tropica, Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc.,
Yeah.
Clone Wars, Outlast, and Supernatural.
Oh.
Yeah, it's freaked me out. But here's the thing. If zombies are so varied, why am I scared of all of them? And this leads us to our thesis question of this presentation. What makes a zombie scary? So, is that showing up?
You can like barely
yeah,
see it,
barely.
but you
Wow,
can
this
see
looks
it.
so much darker on my
I
thing.
can
This
see
may
it.
be a consistent problem.
Oh no.
Okay. Just tell us, and we'll
Yeah.
believe you.
Okay, I am going to. What's my next slide? Oh yeah. So what did I do for this? I decided to watch a bunch of zombie movies because I think that's the best place to start. And so here are the rules for this: movies only, no TV shows. Only one movie per film series. So like film series like 28 Days Later or something. I only watched the first one.
Yeah.
How good the movie is does not equal how scary the zombies are. This is kind of obvious, but I needed it for me because if a movie is like, I have 5 stars on Letterboxd, but the zombies are like 1, it feels kind of bad.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to include that. Some of the films I've seen before, but that's okay.
Question.
Don't worry. Yes.
Did you watch Warm Bodies for this? I need to know.
Yes. Yes, that's why I brought it. That's why I knew exactly what when you were talking about the other day.
Does he have Nicholas Hoult in it?
Yes.
I love Nicholas Hoult.
Yes. He was good in the film.
He's so good.
But before we talk about the films, I need to just ask a big question. What is a zombie movie? This seems like a very obvious question, but there's actually a lot of nuance to it, and I'm going to demonstrate this using an example. Yes?
A movie that, where zombies are like the main point.
Cool.
I like that.
What's that
Like
one movie with
Central
Daniel Radcliffe where he
to-
gets resurrected? Do you consider that a
some
zombie movie?
Okay, we'll talk about this, okay? We'll talk about this. I'm going to demonstrate. Yes, do you have a question?
Oh, this was unrelated, but I was just gonna ask, did you watch The Dead Don't Die?
Yes. Yes, I did, I think.
Bro's covered all bases here.
I've seen, okay, you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to demonstrate with an example. So I'm going to read out a description of a film that I watched for this project. So it says, two big city investigators team up to solve a series of missing persons cases. Upon finding the missing people, they discover they've been turned feral, regressing to their animalistic instincts, attacking others as a result of exposure to a bioweapon. Fear grips the city as more and more cases begin to appear. This, I know, Lily, this sounds, in all intents and purposes, like a zombie movie. However, it is the plot of Zootopia. Yeah. So now we have to in Zootopia, Nick and Judy team up to solve a missing animal cases. They eventually discover that the animals have been turned feral and are attacking others as a result of exposure to night howler's chemical or something. So now we have to consider, is Zootopia a zombie movie?
Yes.
And yes, I
I'm
did
for
watch Zootopia
anarchist.
for this project. I went a bit insane, okay?
So good.
So-
I have an anarchist approach to zombie movies, and I think Zootopia is a zombie
Yes.
movie.
So
I love those
let's
too.
do this. Let's compare a classic zombie to Zootopia's feral animals.
I love
So-
this chart. Oh my god.
Reduction to baser traits. A desire to bite, scratch, or eat others. A difference in mobility, like shuffling
Yeah.
around or walking on all fours. And freaky eyes. Which, yes,
Frankenstein is a zombie movie.
we'll get to it. So, we'll get to it. So, freaky eyes you would not expect to be as important to zombies as it is, but let me tell you, having completed this project, like 9 times out of 10, the only thing that indicates it's a zombie is they have freaky eyes. So it's actually really important. So
Wow.
based on this data, we would have to say, yes, Zootopia is a zombie movie. Yes.
I
For baser traits, do you consider like an altered mental state? You know, that kind of like hypnotized look. Do you consider that baser traits?
Yes. We'll talk about it. So we would have to say, simply based on this data, yes, Zootopia is a zombie movie. However, this doesn't really feel right, does it? It doesn't feel right to say that Zootopia is a zombie movie, and this movie itself does not market it as such. And if I came up to you on the street and asked you, without explaining any of this, is Zootopia a zombie movie, your instinct would probably be like, no.
I would ask you to explain more because I want to hear your point of view.
Yes. I would argue it is, but I wouldn't count it for a zombie ranking. Now, you might say, okay, Jay, Zootopia isn't a zombie movie because they're not undead. So let's consider some other examples. Is a mummy a zombie? Yes or no? Show of hands, is a mummy a zombie?
I don't
No,
know.
because
We have-
they're not diseased.
different.
I feel like
They
zombies
have-
are usually diseased.
They have, they shuffle around, they attack others, they're undead.
They have zombie like.
I think, here's my
traits.
new theory, I think zombie, and I'm sure this is going to be disproven, but I feel like zombies are usually because of a disease, and I feel like mummies don't have a disease, it's usually like an ancient curse.
Yeah, it has to be pathological.
Did you
Ha,
watch the
we'll
Mummy
get
for
to it.
this?
No.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
So, then, like, wait, have we talked about why you think zombies are scary? Like, what about them?
Jillian, that is the entire thesis of the presentation. Okay, we're getting to
'cause I
it.
guess
So,
for you, it depends on if the mummy has those scary zombie traits.
Okay.
So I think we
Good
could
answer.
use Jay as an indicator of what is and isn't a zombie. It would be based on
Yes.
what Jay's scared of. Jay, are you
Yes.
scared of the people and the things in Zootopia?
yes.
It's a zombie movie.
Yes, they trigger the zombie
Are
instinct.
you scared of mummies?
Some of them, yes.
Oh.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. So, show of hands, who thinks a mummy is a zombie? I have 2 more examples, guys.
Yeah?
Cool. Next one.
I don't know.
Is Frankenstein's monster a zombie?
I think
Undead?
I'm going with my
Reanimated?
disease theory.
But-
I'm going with my disease theory. I'm sure it's going to be disproven, but for now I'm going with my disease theory.
You could.
I like that
consider-
theory. a
But
lot.
Yeah.
I would also consider like the science aspect of maybe it's not a disease, but it's a science thing. Like in Resident Evil.
We'll get to it.
Like, so in Resident Evil, because they're definitely zombie-like in Resident Evil. Did Resident
There's a
Evil trigger your zombie?
Yes.
And they're experimented on, right? They're not diseased.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting point of view. So I'm meh.
I feel like
Yeah.
experiment could also.
They're reanimated, undead, often depicted with green skin, often depicted with violent tendencies, you know, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Here's the big kicker. Is a vampire a zombie? Undead,
Well, I would say
reanimated.
no.
they, their whole thing is they infect others by biting. they drink the blood of others, which is essentially
Yeah.
like
Can we
consuming
have some
biological
clarifying
matter.
questions?
Yes,
So,
I'm talking about
We
classic.
so, yes, I feel like I would have to say yes because they have disease. They're a vampire. They're undead. Like you said, they desire to destroy humans. The one thing I would say is unique, and I don't think this discounts them as a zombie. But one thing I would say is unique about them that we don't generally think of a zombie trait is their intelligence and attack.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Generally, I'm sure this is gonna be disproven, but I think we generally think of zombies as somewhat, I don't know if it's dumb, but kind of bumbling, like they don't have a human intelligence, their consciousness has been reduced or destructed.
So
But vampires, that's not true.
this is something I will discuss later, but I do want to talk about it now, is that when we talk about a zombie and a zombie film, there is like a traditional sense in which zombies are depicted and stuff, but there are a lot of films that are marketed as zombie films. They consider themselves, and they are zombie films, and they are not like that at all. I have watched, for this project, multiple zombie films that have intelligent, sentient zombies that act more like vampires than the traditional zombie, and they're considered zombies.
Interesting.
And they still elicit the fear response.
I think Jillian
Yes.
had a question
Did you
as well.
watch I Am Legend?
I started, it was on the list, and I started it, but then I realized the dog was gonna die, and I kind of had to nope out, so so that was the one and only movie on my list that I did not finish for this
I
project.
finished it, but I cried for the last 40 minutes nonstop.
Here's the thing is, I know the exact plot because my dad has spoiled it in depth because he keeps talking about how he likes the book better. So
That's so dad, spoiling the entire movie just because you like the book better.
and I was like, I know what's gonna happen, and I don't really want to watch. I was in a bad mood that day, so I fully deleted it from the list. Okay, so like we have looked at these, and we have come to the conclusion. So couldn't you make a justification that any undead monster also be considered a zombie? And I would say yes, you could probably make a case. Some of them would be better than others, but you can certainly make a case for them.
So would we say? I mean, I know your sample size is a bit off because you only watch zombie movies, but could we say that the definition of a zombie is a bit broader than other monsters? For example, vampires, we define them very distinctly by the fact that they like blood, and also there's a sexy element to vampires that I'm sure zombies do have some, but not all of them. And then mummies are also very specific in that they're ancient Egyptian and they're covered in
It's like the historical
gauze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so is
associations
the
with each.
reason that zombies are so hard to define, would you say, based on your research, I know that your sample size is flawed because you primarily studied zombies, but would you say they're defined more functionally, more vaguely than other undead monsters?
Yes, and that is the biggest problem, and that's why I wanted to talk about this, is that almost all of these zombies that are called zombies elicit this fear response, but because they're so broad, why do they all make me scared? What is it about them that makes me scared?
Oh, we need to go through the test. Do you get the zombie response from Frankenstein?
Sometimes.
What about vampires?
No.
What about the
Could that be
classic
because they're
ones?
often depicted as sexy? Oh, what about Nosferatu?
He started to get there, for sure. For sure.
Like classic, like Dracula?
Generally not. We'll talk about this a little bit later, obviously, but I find that more humanoid depictions, like, because they're not, like, decaying and, like, very, like,
Right, yeah.
traditionally zombie-like, it doesn't, like, instinctually do it for me, but it can. So I think we could also consider, couldn't any monster be considered a zombie? Probably not, but I think there's a lot of monsters that you could make a really good case for. Like, is a werewolf a zombie? Probably not, but
Well, is it the point of zombies is that they're dead? Kind of. Well, I guess it depends
Yeah,
on the
have you
zombie.
encountered zombie movies where they're not undead?
yes, half of the zombie movies on this list, they're not undead.
Oh, that's
Guys.
crazy because I thought that was like a distinctive trait of them.
No, it's not. That's the point I'm trying to get across. It's so broadly defined. And the thing is that you might consider a mummy to be a zombie or a subcategory zombie, but would you consider a mummy movie a zombie movie?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between
Because I
what
feel
is a
like
zombie
movies
and
have
what is a zombie
specific
movie.
meaning,
Yeah.
right?
Jillian, what were you gonna say?
So did the human ones that were kind of like alive zombies, did they trigger the thing?
We'll get to it. That's the
Okay.
whole point.
Can I just, sorry, one
Yes.
more we're all yapping.
I'm excited you're all engaged. Please
One
ask
more
us many
thing.
questions.
So another thing I feel like distinguishes maybe not a zombie itself, but a zombie movie is zombies are usually depicted, I feel, en masse. they're not depicted as like for the mummy or the vampire or Frankenstein. It's one. It's generally one or a couple. Like that's like the monster. Whereas zombies generally, I mean, you could disprove me with your extensive research, but zombies are generally like you. Have you watched a movie called The Zombie where there's just one?
Yeah. Well, yes, not the zombie, but I did watch one where there was one zombie.
Because I feel like it's rare. I feel like they're generally depicted as like a hive mind, like mass type deal. Like it's not generally like the one creature.
I agree. I agree. But
I'm sure you're gonna get to this later. Did you watch Annihilation?
no.
Okay, because there's a zombie bear in that.
Okay.
And that is kind of like the zombie.
I was aware of that. I'm mostly, you'll see, okay, let's just go to the next
let's
slide.
just
How did I choose the film? I think this is the slide we should probably cover next. So how did I choose the films? For this particular one, I decided to, I wasn't going to go very in depth, so here's what I did. As I Googled most popular zombie movies, and then there's this little tab here, and I threw all of those on a list. And then I clicked on the very first link, and I found this Rotten Tomatoes 100 best zombie movies ranked, and I took a bunch of them that looked interesting from like the top 10.
Yeah.
Yes, that one didn't, and that's on the list number 2. That's right, I made a second list. And then I was a little bit worried that all of these were going to be like generic action films a little bit, so I Googled most unique zombie films, and I found this Reddit thread, and I threw all of them on there, except ironically that one that's listed in the initial post, because I did not see it until screenshotting this. And then I still didn't have, I was like so close to an even number, and I was like, I gotta. And so what I did is I went back to most popular zombie movies, search, hit videos, clicked on the first video, and I clicked on this guy's video, and I threw his like top 4 on there. And I'm gonna be honest, having now completed this project, this guy has terrible taste. This guy
looks like he does.
What the fuck is he top 20 best zombie movies? They were all in like my bottom 10. So bad.
Wait, so you ranked all of them as well?
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
I'm getting to it. Okay,
The scientific method.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I ended up with about 30 zombie films. 31 if you count Zootopia. I spun a wheel to pick which film to watch, and I watched all the films over a course of about 2 months. I was going to make it 1 month, and then it ended up stretching. I actually think it was about 3. And I ranked the zombies by scariness. I kept my sister in the loop the whole time. She was... Yeah, so I said 40 minutes into my 97-minute zombie movie, and everyone's dead and the credits just rolled, so I don't know how this is going to keep going. Question mark, question mark, question mark. She asked, how is your mental state, Lamau? And I said, in terms of zombies, I'm still a bit paranoid and scared to go outside at night, but not every zombie is scaring me anymore. Foreshadowing. By the way, this is in chronological order.
Oh, your mental state declining.
Yes, and then I wrote, also last night I watched my first 10 out of 10 zombie movie scariness, 10 out of 10 movie scariness. So that's like 10 is the scariest.
Yeah.
And so I ranked both the zombie scariness and the movie scariness, and it ranked 10 on both.
Oh yeah.
That ended up being number 1, and I said
Jay?
I didn't like it.
You should trademark the scare for.
Oh,
the
you'll see.
scariness of zombie
Okay.
movies.
And then I wrote, girl, I have 2 zombie films left. I'm so close. And she's like, exclamation mark. And she said, you're going to finish on your birthday. And I was like, wait, fuck. And it was true. This is March 21st, and I watched my second to last zombie film, and I had 1 more, which would have ended on my birthday, except I decided I didn't want to do that.
Period.
And I'm so glad I did, because the movie that was last ended up being, I think, second in terms of scariest. So hated that.
Damn.
I don't remember what this next slide is going to be. Okay, why did you do this to yourself? You're
How do
probably
you feel about the Minecraft zombie, by the way?
don't like them. They're not too bad, but so you probably asked me, Jay, why did you do this to yourself?
Yeah.
And so this is very important. You guys should all take notes.
This is a common
I am insane.
Yes.
I hate myself,
You're a masochist.
and I thought it would make good content. Guys, this might have been one of the worst things I've ever done to myself. This is
You
my
feel like
second
that?
time. By the way, this is the second time torturing myself with zombie films. The first one I did it over a course of a week, so I did about 7 in a row. And
why is this something you routinely? Why is this a hobby?
Well-
This is like when people like go on roller coasters or get like tattoos obsessively because they like the way the needle feels.
yeah, so this did not. This was genuinely so mentally taxing. Now I'm like, it's such a good time, and I made my second list. But you know, at the time, it was genuinely one of the worst things I've ever done. So each movie is going to have 2 slides. The first one is going to look like this, and this is all the things you're going to see. So, importantly, this slide will mostly not have any spoilers. There are 30 films. I'm going to be spoiling all of them, but not, like, too bad.
Yeah.
So, if you don't want spoilers, don't read this review, and then the second slide you just probably shouldn't look at. But the first slide is pretty good.
You a scare.
Yeah, but
we're
some
not
of them, a couple of them are on the list, but there's a couple of them that I put on the list because I watched them, and those ones, any of the ones I thought were good, I probably won't spoil. If I thought it was bad, I'm going to have no problem spoiling it because I didn't enjoy it. So the only things you need to know is film rank. So this goes from 30 to 1, where 1 has the scariest zombies. This rank is in terms
are
of
they-
scariest zombies.
Are they in? So there is just
Like
you're just
in
rating
order.
not the quality of the movie.
The quality of the movie is this film rating.
Okay.
On the second slide, there will be a ranking for like the scariness of the movie and the scariness of the zombies. This ranking is like the order in which I would order like the zombies in the films from least scary to scary, with 1 being the scariest. Importantly, the other thing you need to know is this zombieism cause. That's how the outbreak initially happened. Like, was it like a virus or something? And then this one is method of infection, how you would infect others, so like biting, say.
Yeah.
Next thing. So this is what the second slide is going to look like. This one's going to be all about the zombies. Yeah, so you guys have all done the killing myself score. So this is a yes or no. This is generally, if I was in the film, would I kill myself immediately? With some exceptions, this is mostly about if I was experiencing the zombie apocalypse. There's a couple of films where it's like I wouldn't care if I was in the zombie apocalypse, but I would care if I was the zombie a little bit, if that makes sense. I'll point them out as they come. But the killing myself is a very important score here. You can see... You'll notice at some point it tops out as a yes and then just never drops back down. And I think it's around rank 10.
Can you stand closer to the killing myself?
Yeah.
Even closer.
I love killing myself during zombie
That's going in the quote.
That's going in the
The other
quote.
thing, that film rank will be the same on both slides. The other thing you need to know, film scariness is not the same as zombie scariness. Sometimes a film is really, really scary, but the zombies are like, whatever. Most of the time, it's kind of the same, but there's like a couple of ones where you shut up. 6, 7. Yeah. The other thing you need to know, notes are just
See, this
what
is
the
also the
zombie-
good thing about me having holding the laptop is I couldn't accidentally do the 6-7.
True. The other thing you need to know is about the zombie traits. So these are like things that the zombie has, and I will go over that because I'm gonna go over all the symbols.
Oh my
I
God.
made symbols.
Why one of the causes is long?
So I did realize
Oh my
that.
God, this is
I did
long.
realize what that looked like afterwards, but let's go through them. So stupidly,
love
I
the
didn't
concept of
label.
zombie
I didn't want to
causes.
write out what each of these were on the slide, so I'm just gonna run through these all right here. So we talked about by the transmission is the same as like infection method. So we have in terms of causes. I don't have a cheat sheet, so I'm gonna go off. So this is astrology, not astronomy. Astrology, chemical.
I'm so curious to what that could possibly mean.
There's I think there's only like 2 films that do it.
2?
Maybe 1. Astrology, what did I say? Chemical, radiation, rage, virus, voodoo, unknown, and fungal.
Ooh.
Then we'll talk about transmission, then we'll go back to zombie traits. Transmission is do not transmit. Like this is usually when there was like an outbreak or like a factory explosion or something. It's like a one-time occurrence.
Right.
And they kill you, but they don't infect you. So chemical, eating some kind of flesh or blood or some kind of thing like that. Death or dying, biting, realization pops up more than you would expect. And then spores. Okay, then we're going to talk about the zombie
Wait,
traits.
how does death transmit it?
Well,
Like,
sometimes
if you
in some movies
kill
they
them-
die and they come back.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like
Dead don't
something
die.
snaps in the world and suddenly everyone who dies comes back.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have zombie traits. Okay, this is can speak, can have missing limbs, able to infect others, cannibalism, cannot die, dark eye bags, decaying, fast zombies, freaky eyes, fungal, green skin, sentient but not, or intelligent but not sentient. This is when they're smart but they're not like aware. This is pack behavior, pale skin, not to be confused with green skin, resurrection or like reanimation. I think it was, rip people apart, sentience, staggery, stumbling walk, like the classic, and voodoo. You notice some of these occur a couple of times. That's just because I hadn't figured out my system yet. So that was a lot. Let's do a quiz.
Test.
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
These will not be labeled, and I will not be bringing them up. So it's up to you to figure them out. These are the ones that I thought were about the hardest. So let's go over them. Does anyone remember which one this is?
Islam.
Astrology.
Astrology. It's a zombieism cause.
Was it like decay?
That's
or
decay,
cause?
yeah.
Yeah, decaying, and it is a
Trait.
Trait.
go.
Can't die. Trait.
Trait.
I thought that was flying.
Conscious,
Intelligent but not
intelligent,
sentient.
Yes,
sentient,
and
yeah.
it's a
Trait.
yes. You guys are so good at this.
Ripping
people apart.
Trait.
Yeah.
Eating
flesh,
transmission,
transmission
yeah.
Yes.
Pale skin trait.
You guys are so good.
And
Realization.
Beautiful. So guys, on to the ranking. I made this
Yay.
in Google Slides.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
so impressed. Like,
Yeah, I know.
how did
This is
you do all of
awesome.
this?
Okay. Let's talk about movie number 30. I Walked with a Zombie. I fucking hated this film.
Why?
I fucking hated this film. This film is from 1943. The plot is a nurse is invited to the Caribbean to take over take care of the mentally ill wife of plantation owner, but soon finds that voodoo and mystery fill the land. This movie is like racist bullshit. I fucking hate this film, and everyone on Letterboxd disagrees with me. They love this film, but I
To be
fucking
fair, there's probably a really small subset of people on Letterboxd who are actually
True.
watching this movie.
True.
Yeah.
This film, okay, let me talk about all the things I hate about this film. So, first thing that I hate, the main woman, the nurse, she falls in love overnight with the plantation owner, and he's like sucks. Like, he has like no redeeming qualities, but she loves this guy, and it's like the end game. The other thing, obviously racist bullshit, but the other thing I really hate is that the mentally ill wife, she's like, at the end of the film, I'm spoiling film because I don't even give a shit. The end of the film is like her dying and the whole family being like, I'm so glad she's gone. She was the cause of all our problems.
Are all the zombies black? Are they all slaves?
No, there are exactly two zombies in the film, and they're both on the cover. The cause of the zombies in this film are voodoo, and it was boring. It looked boring, and it sucked.
Also,
So
1943.
Let's talk about this. So, I don't have much to say other than what I said. They're basically, they look like this. They don't attack people. They're just like zonked out of their mind.
Easily killed by stabbing.
Oh yeah, the zombies at the end of the film, they just kind of fucking get stabbed. Like, they're just like people. They're like mind controlled almost, but I guess they're dead. The zombies in this film are, I think, allegedly dead. It's very confusing. I actually, while watching the film, I had the Wikipedia open to understand the summary of the plot because I just could not fucking figure out what the hell was going on. I hated this film. Killing myself, no. I would kick their ass. Hated this film. Let's talk about the next film, White Zombie. This
Why is it also racist?
This movie is from 1932. This is the first ever zombie film. This is, if you ask any of your parents what the first ever zombie film is, they would say Night of the Living Dead, which is not true at all. We have seen 2 films so far that are earlier than that, and there are more.
Parents don't know shit.
This is the earliest ever made zombie film, and the zombie in this film do not resemble in any way modern day zombies, and there's a reason for that we will talk about on the next couple of slides. This movie is just boring. The zombies are like victims of hypnotism. There's at the end of the movie, the like girl, it's a love story. The girl like comes back from zombieism, and you're like, how?
Why is there so much plantation owners in slavery?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that very soon. The scariest thing in this movie was the vulture sound effects, which I will now play for you. This is what vulture.mp3 is. It's very quiet.
It's like screaming.
Yeah, it is some guy screaming at the top of his lungs.
That's not what vultures sound like.
It's so much fun.
Damn.
Wow.
So much fun. And let me tell you, they don't give you warning. Like, the vultures need to show up on the screen at some points. And so this thing comes out of nowhere, and it's, like, bass boosted all the way. So it's, like, 10 times louder than anything else in the film. Scared the shit out of me.
Oh my god.
Anyway, the only reason the zombies in this film are higher than the zombies in I Walked with a Zombie is because they technically kill someone in this film. They throw him
by some guy.
Oh yeah, I wish I had a picture of him. He's some like crazy fucking name, and he looks insane. Is he on? He's this guy on the cover. You think that's a zombie? That's the guy controlling them. He looks like this. They're like, with these big eyes, he rendered her powerless. With his zombie grip, he made her perform his every desire. I have no idea what his deal was. It was creepy and fucked up. They die because they literally get like the dudes trick them into walking off a cliff, and they all just kind of do it in a line. That image is. It's just them falling off a cliff. They are not the main antagonists of the film. They look exactly like humans. They suck. I hated them. Okay, so you may have noticed a trend with the last two films. Let's talk about zombie origins.
Yeah, I was just.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
zombie origins. So zombies are actually way newer than I thought. So you probably know that in ancient civilizations they would often like pin down or stake the dead to keep them from rising. This is alleged. This is alleged, and there's no evidence of this being like related to zombies. There's some speculation that it was related to like vampires, which is why I made that comparison earlier. But there's no like definitive thing about this. Zombies as a concept originate from 17th century in West African slaves brought to work on plantations in Haiti. This is also kind of legend. I didn't really find any sources that specifically say 17th century other than this one here, but I do see it popping up basically in the earliest around the 1920s.
Not the footnotes like
I know.
Wait a second, you have to.
I put them at the end as well. I'm not a big citer, so I just do whatever the fuck I want. What citation style is this? I made it up. Why?
Yeah, at least you did a citation style.
I bought-
I just put information there. My sources trust
I fully
me.
bought it. But yeah, so basically the earliest kind of cases of zombies I found were kind of around the 1920s, which is way later than I thought they were going to be. And they originated from these Haitian slaves, and they represented the fear of still being forced to serve after death. In fact, it was such a big problem. So voodoo masters were thought to create these powders that could revive the dead. This is actually real. We will talk about it later. We will talk about it later. Unfortunately, this mythology was then co-opted by slave drivers who often were voodoo masters themselves to keep their slaves in line and subservient. They would be like, we don't want you to revolt against the masters because then we'll turn you into zombies and you have to work after you're dead. The origins of zombies come from racist bullshit. What? And so that's why all these earliest iterations of zombies are all voodoo based, and they're all often associated with plantations because that is what they were associated with.
Wow.
It's yeah, and so the iterations, the zombie films were obviously not being made by these slave owners. They were being made by white people who were like, slaves are scary. They're gonna revolt against you with their voodoo powers. Terrible. We hate it. So let's talk about the next film.
Yeah, I knew that one was coming up. I knew that one was coming up.
Zombies, the Disney Channel musical. Guys, I had so much fun with this film.
This movie is
Yeah.
so fun. It's so bad.
This movie is
It's so
bad, but I had such a
Should we
good.
add
I've
it to
actually.
our list?
Yeah.
Yes, I actually watched this, and then it's the only zombie movie on this list that I made my sister rewatch with me because I had so much fun with it. So the plot of this is zombies are allowed to attend high school for the first time. The zombies, it's like some like segregation. They're in
Yeah.
like the ghettos. They rap. And then Zed wants to join the football team, but he's a zombie. But then he meets the cheerleader, Allison, and he finds he has even bigger dreams. And I'm gonna be so fucking serious. The concept of this film is actually really good. I don't mean the like football and like cheerleaders and stuff. I mean like the like metaphor of zombies for like racism.
Yeah.
It's like it has
connects to the past.
it connects to the past, and like the way they do it is like bad. But like it's like there was something there. Like I watched the film, I've seen it twice now, and I sat there and I was like, there's something there. But it's a Disney Channel movie, so obviously it's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Well, it's not gonna be like a good allegory for
Yeah.
racism. You know what I mean? Also, I need to shout out the villain to this film, he is genuinely one of the funniest characters I've ever seen. He made me
Gay
laugh
little shit.
so hard. He's not gay, shocking, but he really loves cheerleading. He loves cheerleading.
Wait,
He's a
is it the
crazy
guy
amount.
in pink in the villain, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
okay.
He's got some swagger. Also, they put the black zombies in whiteface. I don't know.
They said no black people.
I don't really know. It's a bit weird. But also the songs in this film kind of sucked, but they're also like oddly catchy. Yeah.
The chemical thing, could you remind me, isn't there like a chemical explosion or something?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
also,
Oh.
guys, I was losing my mind. Well, I was already like in psychosis watching these films, and to see 69, 67, it broke my brain, and I had to make this immediately.
Number.
So funny.
Holy shit.
This film is one of the few times that I actually had really a lot of fun.
Is that in Zombies?
Yes, this is a real screenshot from the film.
Oh my god.
Anyway, it was caused by a power plant explosion at the lime soda. No, it was a power plant, and lime soda got spilled, and that's why they're green. And they turned into zombies. I have questions about zombie reproduction.
Yes.
They're just
I have a
three
lot-
white people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Their zombieism is like controlled using these like wrist bracelets, Z-bands or something, and it like it reduces their desire. It also, there's a scene in the film, it like changes one of them to like human. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? They're scared of fire. Killing myself? No, I could take them. Are they scary? No. They're actually, but I put them higher than the other two because they don't kill people. They do, but in the past. But they have a scary mode, and it's like not scary, but it's scary for the film.
Are you scared of the zombies in that?
No. Let's talk about The Serpent and the Rainbow. This is a film from 1988. It is an anthropologist investigates reports of people coming back to life in Haiti, but ends up in conflict with the country's new voodoo practicing dictator. It's like based on a true story, and I'm being so fucking for real. It is based on it's based on a book, which is based on a true story. It is. I didn't really like it that much, but it was objectively kind of a good film. It might have been racist bullshit? Question mark. It has to do with voodoo. Any of the ones about voodoo generally are racist bullshit, but you just gotta like kind of move on. The zombies in this film are not zombies. We'll talk about it on the next slide. There's one scene in the film that scared the living pants off of me. That's the only reason it's this high. And moving on. So yeah, the zombies in this film are not zombies. They are people who got like knocked out and then put in coffins, and then they rose from the dead because they woke up and broke out of the coffins. But they're not even like real zombies. This is from a dream sequence, and it's the only reason this film is this high, because if it was just like
scary.
I know they're not real zombies, but that kind of freaked me out. They look like just like humans, and importantly, this is the scariest part. And this. Do you remember the killing myself? And I talked about this. I honestly might kill myself if I was one of the zombies. They die, get put in the coffin, wake up, and have to claw their way to the surface, and they remember the whole thing. They're awake the whole time.
Oh, that's
Fuck up.
Fun fact, that's what happens to Ghost in the OG timeline.
Yeah.
Of what?
In Call of Duty.
Oh, I
Okay.
think that in real life. I was like,
So, I told you this was based on a true story. So let's talk about real zombies. Shit's fucked up.
oh,
So,
okay, this is gonna
Zombies
fuck
are real, sort of. There are 3 real-life instances of zombieism. So, the first
you up.
one...
Not the academic source.
I know, I was looking at that.
The first one are zombie parasites. That is the zombie snail, and that is the zombie ant. They're not real zombies. They are parasites that they latch onto the insects, and then they influence the brain somehow. I don't...
Didn't we talk about in bio the ants? I feel like
Probably.
it was brought up.
Yeah,
At least.
But, so with the zombie... I actually don't remember the zombie snail, what they do, but I remember the zombie ants. And the zombie ants, they like kind of brain control, sort of. I don't really understand how it works. They brain control the ant to go hang out on a leaf and die, and then they burst out.
That's a boring ass thing. You
I
have
know.
brain control of another being, and you choose to go make them hang
I
out on a leaf and die.
Like I said, they're not real zombies, but can you just imagine if that kind of did spread to humans? That would be a zombie, right? The only reason we're not considering it zombies is because
It's just
Not-
viewed.
it's in bugs, you know? So, let's talk about the other one. Furious rabies. There are two types of rabies. I learned about rabies the other day. Scary shit. Furious rabies is the more
Fucking hate
common
rabies, though.
type. 70% of rabies cases end up with furious rabies. It's also the one that you guys know of. It's the frothing the mouth, violent, attacking, biting ones. I read this fun little source that says updates on rabies virus disease, is evolution towards zombie virus a tangible threat, and they concluded yes. Did not like that.
Luckily, there's a thing called a rabies vaccine.
True. Apparently, if a mass rabies outbreak occurred, most of the U.S. population would be dead within a week because of how fast humans can run and how easily rabies can spread.
Oh shit.
Let's never let that happen.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's a thing called a rabies vaccine.
Yeah.
And if you get it, you can't get rabies.
True. And that's why it won't happen. But a lot of instances of zombies in movies are based on the rabies virus, obviously. And let's talk about the third one, tetrodotoxin. This is the chemical from The Serpent and the Rainbow. It is a real, actual chemical. This also happens to be the things that the voodoo masters were preparing historically. Remember I told you that they made those powders and they would raise people from the dead? That's what it was. They were doing it for real. They were doing it for real.
Elaborate?
Yes. So essentially what it is, it's a drug. It's actually very common in a lot of sea life. Like the blue ring octopus, for example, uses tetrodotoxin. It essentially, what it does, if prepared correctly, like in the way these voodoo masters were doing it, it will knock you unconscious for, I think, about like 12 to 24 hours. Like knock you out to the point where it seems like your heart rate isn't there. Like you are like almost legally dead with how much it lowers your heart rate, to the point where doctors were identifying like people as being dead, and they weren't. But notably, as I said, you're awake the whole time. You're aware of everything that's going on, but you're completely and utterly paralyzed. And you're taking everything in, but you cannot react. So they bury you, you die, and then you wake up, you suddenly regain control of your facets when you're buried underneath the ground. And so a lot of these cases, I would speculate that, some of these cases historically where they see like claw marks on the open side of caskets and stuff could have been as a result of this. Very fucked up. In fact, at some point they discovered this drug, and by that I mean the pharmaceutical companies discovered this from the Haitian people, and they started marketing it, and now it is used in aesthetics. So that's kind of fun.
So you're basically microdosing being dead.
Yes.
Wait, can I ask you, or maybe finish what you're gonna say first, because you
That's
can
it.
trust what I also heard about like fungus taking over bugs. Is that a thing, or was I given misinformation?
Yes.
Like, what's the difference between that? Because I know parasites are a different thing, but I've also heard of like, cordyceps. Is that? Because
Where?
cordyceps is a kind of mushroom. Ophiocordyceps.
Yes.
So
This
is
is
that a
this is the
mushroom?
zombie snail, and it's a parasite, and this is a zombie ant, which I think
Which
is a
is a
fungus.
fungus,
I think I
okay.
labeled it as a parasite, but I don't know.
I mean, they're similar.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering because of the last.
Yeah. Next film, One Cut of the Dead. Guys, I love this film. 5 stars.
5 star.
I fucking love this film. I'm and as such, I will not be talking about it mostly because I put it on the list. I want to make you guys watch it, and I cannot tell you anything about this film really without spoiling it.
Okay, we won't
So
read the
the
review.
plot of this, no, it's fine.
Okay.
Like I said, I left most of the spoilers out. So it says a film crew shooting a zombie film is surprised when real zombies suddenly attack. But how did this happen? This film is great. It's wonderful. It's hilarious. It's awesome. Zombies purposely look like classic low budget zombies, and as such, the zombies are really not that scary. They're kind of like freaky. I think this is a Japanese film, so it's subbed, but it's okay. They spew infection particles? ? There's also something else important about them, but I'm not talking about it. I'm not gonna.
Fine. keep
Warm
your secret.
bodies.
Yeah.
Warm bodies. So when a zombie named R saves a living girl from an attack, the two form a unique relationship that changes the world. They're in love. It was a very creepy premise. He basically kidnaps her and like holds her hostage for a little bit, but they were kind of cute, so I don't really know. I actually love the messaging of the story. and zombies were developed into characters. I think it was really cool. I enjoyed it. I like a romance. I'm shocked by how many zombie films are romances. You would you would be shocked. Yes.
What is the messaging?
The messaging of the film is essentially, I don't really want to spoil it because it's kind of a fun film to watch, but essentially the zombies are cured at the end, but they're not cured. They're cured through acceptance. It's more about biases and distancing yourself from others and isolation.
Question mark, do we not know how they become zombies?
Nope.
Nope,
We do not.
You know, sometimes it's good to keep us in the dark. Sometimes it's not important.
Yeah. So important. So there's Nicholas Hoult. So importantly,
you are killing yourself.
They get memories of a person if they eat their brain, which is why they do it. They can choose whether or not to infect others. They generally run slow, but they can run fast. I don't know if they're just doing some shit. Cures love or something. And here's the thing. Normal zombies eventually pick off their skin and become unfeeling bonies. Look at this transition. Woo, they're freaky. These guys scared the shit out of me. But I only had one zombie slot, so I ranked these guys, and then I considered these guys like skeletons or something. But they're freaky, and they're the only reason they bumped this film up a little bit, because they scared me. They're fast, and they're freaky, and they jump all over the place.
Would you kill yourself?
If these things were around, yeah. These guys, no, whatever. I could take them.
Those guys are just like edgy people.
Yeah, but these guys, no fucking. Holy shit.
No, like that
They
bottom.
scaled a wall.
That bottom guy looks so like dexterous.
They rip off their own skin. They're
Period.
unfeeling.
What
Anyway,
a word.
don't like them. Did not like them. Okay, let's talk about Sleeping Corpses Lie. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. I actually really liked this film. I wasn't expecting to like this film as much. So it's an unlikely couple becomes suspects in a murder investigation, and they must convince the police the culprit was actually the living dead and survived to tell the tale. The cops are the villains of this movie. The zombies are also the villains, but the cops are more the villains. Hashtag believe women. Oh yeah, they just are straight up at every turn. They are not believing this woman, and then the man shows up and he's like, "Oh my god, she's right," and he starts believing her, but then they don't believe him either. So I guess believe women because she was right. Kind of the opposite plot of every zombie movie, so I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a. I wouldn't say it's a murder mystery, but it's a convincing the cops there's a murder mystery.
How did they become zombies?
Oh boy, let's talk about that. Oh, I have this fun little clip. I thought this was us. I thought that was so relatable.
I learned that with no context.
Yeah. Okay, so they reanimate other corpses using the blood of the living. So the initial zombies are reanimated because some guys are like using radiation to kill the bugs in their fields, and then the guys come up and they're like, "Stop doing that! You're raising the living dead." And they're like, "You're a whack." So they keep doing it, and the other zombies can reanimate others using the blood of the living. Fucked up. They just kind of whack people, and then they eat them. This is from the same scene. They maybe have teleporting powers. I don't think they really do, but they just like, they're like so slow, but they just keep showing up everywhere. It's like crazy.
I love that they maybe have off-screen teleporting powers just because they keep showing up everywhere.
Yeah, I have no idea. I like this film. It was good. I would recommend it. It's funny. It's of the time. Holy shit, boobs in this film. They just,
like boobs.
the 70s, they just be putting boobs everywhere.
You're not killing yourself.
No, I could take them. I think if I had one gun, I could do it. Yeah, as long as you don't go in arm's length, because they're just kind of like whacking people.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the plot again? What are they trying to convince the cops?
That they're zombies.
Oh.
Because there's like a murder mystery, and the cops are like, "You guys did it," and they're like, "No, the zombies did it," and the cops are like, "Idiots." And it's got a fun ending. I like the ending. Okay, sanity check diary 1. So I decided to keep sanity check diary. I'll read this. I am feeling very paranoid. Every sound in the house, every creak, or person walking outside the door, even my sister's heavy breathing. She really got on my case for writing that. Makes me jump.
Slandering her.
Worrying it's a zombie. I know it's not, but I am just in such a state of constant fear. Guys, I decided to do this because I was really having a bad time. There's a period in the middle where I was actually genuinely like petrified to leave my room.
Oh,
I was
wow.
so scared. It got better.
I'm not sorry.
Next
this is
film,
my entertainment.
Fido.
This
Guys?
is what they call exposure therapy.
Yes. In an alternate 1960s, collars have been created that makes zombies docile. When the Robinsons get a zombie slave, their young son gets attached to him. Okay, guys, I'm gonna be honest. This movie has one of the greatest setups in film history. The first 10 minutes of this film are so good. They set the scene, and the world building in this film is fucking incredible. It's like, it's like they set up a society where the humans won the zombie war, and then they control the zombies, and then they're teaching people to hunt zombies in schools, and it's like a dehumanization ritual where people have like trophies from the zombie war, and it's just like heads of people on their walls. It's like crazy world building. They set up zombie slavery in this film, and then they introduce the fact that the zombies are actually more sentient and aware, and they don't like being slaves. And then the film ends with people treating their slaves better. But like two families treating their slaves better. They don't overthrow the system. The only thing that happens is about 200 people die, and about 200 people die. The wife gets cucked by a zombie, and two families decide to treat their slaves a little bit better.
This liberal ideology ass movie.
This film, it was one of the most disappointing films on this list. I'm so pissed off because it also doesn't know what it's going to be. The movie is rated R, by the way, but it treats itself like it's a children's film. Like, it's like fucked up. Like, I have no idea what's going on. This film fucking sucks, but also we should watch it. It's great. Cannot reanimate if brain is destroyed or head severed. That's really important in the film somehow. Domestication collar removes cannibalistic desires. There was a zombie war that humans from. This zombie is like a zombie sex slave, but she likes it or something. It's weird messaging. Guys, the film is weird messaging.
You're killing yourself.
I would kill myself. Because I think as soon as the zombie war started, I would kill myself, and then I wouldn't live to see the zombie slaves. But if I saw the zombie slaves, I think I'd kill myself then too. Well, can you imagine walking around your neighborhood and your like neighbor has like their pet zombie walking down the street?
Why does the zombie sex slave have perfect abs?
I really don't fucking know, man. The whole thing was weird. The movie was really weird, and it almost like I literally for the first 20 minutes I was like, this is gonna be a 5-star movie. This movie's so good, and then it's just like epic fall off.
No.
Next film, Reanimator. I love this film. It's very Frankenstein-esque. That's why I said we'd get to it. This is very much a reanimation via chemical film. I wrote a whole thing. I was kind of losing my mind by this point. This was like one of the later films that I watched. So a doctor and his fiance get swept up in a deadly affair when their tenant perfects a serum to reanimate the dead. Banger intro, very fun. Everyone's hot. There's a really weird sexual assault scene. There's a really weird sexual assault scene where the girl's like father helps. It's really weird. But other than that, the movie is really fun. There was some gay vibes going on with the main characters, but I think it was just me. I think I was just feeling it. I was grasping for any moment. But I genuinely had such a good time with this film, and I think I put it on the list and I took it off because I was worried you guys would figure out what I was onto.
Wait. Is it based on an H.P. Lovecraft? Because that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. It says H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator.
That explains the incest.
Based on it's based on a
pseudo-incest.
story. It's based on a book that they adapted into a movie, and then they made a bajillion sequels, which all suck. And I didn't watch it. I only watched one film from the series. Let's talk about zombies. They're freaky. Serum injected into the brain reanimates the body. The body parts can operate separately. So in this scene, there's one scene where the guy's head gets cut off, and then it reanimates, and his body also reanimates, even though the serum went into his head. Don't know how that works, but it was freaky. Time of injection after death will cause more or less sentience. They try very hard to make this movie sciencey. It's not. The serum is bright electric green.
That feels like a decision a producer made.
Yes, it's wonderful. It looks great though. I had an amazing time with this film. I know I'm not really going that in depth on the zombies. Mostly just note the zombie traits. We'll talk about it later. Don't worry about it.
And you're not killing yourself.
No, I wouldn't kill myself. It's only like in this one hospital. I just wouldn't be in the hospital. I'm joking. But if I was in the hospital, I just like would run away. They're not very fast. I just wouldn't be caught up with these fools. I simply wouldn't be there. The dead don't die.
Oh,
I fucking hated this
me
film.
too.
This film sucked
I did
ass.
not like it. And they put every goddamn celebrity on earth in this movie.
Oh my god.
They put every person.
Holy
Look at
shit.
this cast list, okay?
Yeah.
Bill Murray,
Look at
Adam
this
Driver,
shit.
Tilda Swinton, Chloe Sevigny, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover, Caleb Leonard, I don't know who that is.
I
Lily
like I
Perez,
watched
Iggy
this.
Pop,
guys,
Selena Gomez, Tom Waits, Carol Kane. They put everyone on earth in this movie, and there's no. At the end, what was the point?
oh my god, we'll talk
It
about
was
it.
so meaningless.
We'll talk about it. This fucking film sucks so bad. I was really, really excited for this film because I saw, there was like back when I was having ads on YouTube. I got a bajillion trailers for this film, and I really wanted to watch it because it looked quite good. And then I sat down and watched it, and it was really bad.
Is this the one where Adam Driver plays a cop?
Yes.
Okay, I have
The
seen
main
this.
characters are cops, already off to a bad start. So the plot is, after polar fracking tilts the Earth off its axis, that's astrology, by the way. The dead rise in the small town of Centerville, but its people are prepared. What am I even saying in this film? It's a horror comedy film that's neither horrifying nor funny. It's not scary. It's not funny. There's insane plot twists that make no sense, and they add nothing to the plot. Everyone dies in the end, and then there's like this one guy overlooking the whole thing, being like, "That's consumerism for you guys." Like, like what the hell are you talking about? That was not the plot of the film.
The first time I watched it, I didn't even realize it was because the Earth got knocked off its axis.
I was literally paying attention for this shit, so that's the only reason I know. Tilda Swinton is in this movie, and I love Tilda Swinton, so that's the only reason
she's
it's
great.
not 1 star, because I love her. And her character was the only good character in this film. She was weird. But then so I'm gonna spoil this film, they turn her into an alien, and it comes out of nowhere. It's like, you're like, whoa, this really
It's
cool.
just like too much. Like,
It's like,
aliens and zombies.
But it's like, they meant it as like a joke, and there's this one scene where the fucking main characters, like this one guy has been making like meta jokes the whole time, and then there's like this long scene where they sit in the car, and he's like, how do you know about all this? And the other guy's like, I have this script, and they go on this really long like fourth wall break, but it's not funny, and it leads nowhere. It's terrible.
The whole movie leads nowhere.
The whole movie leads nowhere. It feels like nothing, and it's bad, and I hated it. The other thing is, it's like the only way they can tie this consumerism plot that they think they have going on is that the zombies, they repeat things they were obsessed with in life, ? Like this lady here, she's like saying fashion, that's the thing. And they just do that, and they're like cell phones, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, I hated this film. But the zombies were pretty freaky, and they do eat people in this movie. So yeah, and it's any of the dead, they come back
By
to
the
life.
way, Iggy Pop there, they didn't use any makeup, he just looks like that.
True. Seems like the easiest zombie invasion ever to avoid, but everyone still dies anyway. Just don't leave the house at night.
It's like Plushenko.
Like, I literally don't
He
even...
does. He looks like Pashenko.
I was like...
On a good day.
I wrote killing myself no because I could win. I could do it.
Yeah.
I think if you're not a fucking idiot, you survive the zombie apocalypse. That's my hot take. Autopsy of Jane Doe. I bet some of you did not know this was a zombie film. I didn't know it was a zombie film either. Coroner and son conduct an autopsy on a Jane Doe found buried at the scene of a gruesome murder, but begin to encounter things that cannot be explained. This movie is very scary. I liked it a lot. I think it's very strong. The movie score in terms of scariness is going to be way higher than the actual zombies, because the movie is really scary, but like all the zombies are like hidden. They're like not in the dark. And also there's like one zombie and then with superpowers, and then the rest of the zombies don't have superpowers. So it's like I don't even know what to like rank. Very fun movie though. So is Jane Doe the zombie, or the corpses she puppets zombies? I don't know. That's Jane Doe boobs.
Good for her.
And then those are the guys. They're kind of freaky, but they're just kind of like there. You know what I mean? Like the Jane Doe has telekinesis and reanimation powers, which you would think makes her scarier, but it actually makes her less scary to me. So I kind of like, I don't even know. Good for her, I guess.
But you are
killing yourself.
Oh yeah. If I was in this situation, if somehow I was in this morgue, I just am dying. There's just no way I'm making it out of this. So I would kill myself immediately. As soon as I heard the guys shuffling around the bells on their ankles, absolutely not killing myself. Zombie. This is the one about the one zombie. He's the zombie. A student abandons his girlfriend after being infected by a virus that makes him crave human flesh. He documents and records many changes. He's like a science student, and he like records it. It's fucking me up, bro. It's so tragic. He I just like I wouldn't be in this situation because you'll see on the
I
next
just
slide.
wouldn't happen to me.
It wouldn't happen to me. First of all, I wouldn't go into the creepy house in the woods. First of all, and secondly, I as soon as I knew I'd been infected with the zombie virus, I would just kind of like kill myself instead of this bro gets infected,
So you would kill
starts
yourself.
eating people. He's like sentient the whole time, and he's like, I'm eating people, but I'm gonna keep taking notes. And I'm like, bro, just don't do that. Very unique story idea. Very unique story idea. I say, knowing that there's another film on this list that has almost the exact same story idea. Independent. They're independent. They didn't know about each other, but that's okay. It was good. Acting was okay. So there's one zombie in this film. That's him. Transformation into zombie is slow. Multiple weeks, maybe even months. Sentient throughout the transformation, and then his mind degrades, and he starts having like visions and stuff. Killing myself, yes, because if I go, this is one of those ones where if I was in this situation, I just wouldn't know about the zombies because there's only one of them.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay. Question: how long did it take for your zombie freak out to come in? If it's a really long process. Like, if he gets infected at the beginning of the film, how long into the film did it take?
Well, there was this one scene where he didn't look like that. He looked like a normal person, but he was like on all fours, like ripping somebody open with his mouth, and that one freaked me out. So I feel like pretty early.
Can you address the third note, please?
So something that actually happens. Something that happens in this film is he's jorking it because he had to leave his girlfriend, and so he's like dreaming of his girlfriend jorking his penis ball. It's it's like my favorite film. I went on Letterboxd afterwards, and every comment is about the penis falling off scene. It's so fucking funny. This
Wait,
film
so
is so
shouldn't all the zombie traits be that one trait about like the stuff falling off? Like, you didn't include it.
probably I did.
Dropping it too hard.
But it's true. He was jerking it too hard.
Wait, we need to take a picture of it. Oh wow, it's so dark in here.
Yeah.
Killing myself?
It's
Yes.
very
When your
dark.
penis falls off
I
because
hope-
you're jerking it too
Yeah,
much.
today's recording isn't too dark.
Oh, probably. I don't fucking know. My laptop
Use
turned
it
off
more,
at
it
some
makes
point.
the screen less bright. That's what I've found at least.
Wait, let's get Jay in there.
Oh my god.
We're like stopping for pictures.
Yeah.
Look, Jenny, isn't this crazy magic? Look at this weird shit.
Oh. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Colin, this is the movie with the exact same plot, basically. Well, not exact. So this British teen, this is a zombie apocalypse in this one. British teen Colin is bitten, and the world passes by as he walks through it as a zombie. I think this is the film. This film was made on a budget of like $53, like, and it looks like it. This film is like looks terrible. It's dark as shit. I can't see anything. Here, this is what all the scenes in the film look like.
Oh, I
And
hate
it's
that.
brighter on here than it was on my laptop. Like, you can actually see there's a
Did you
woman
have
there.
Jay?
Yeah?
Did you have your brightness up on your laptop?
No. But I should still be able to see. And this movie is, like, really bad. And then there's, like, 2 scenes in the film that, like, almost made me cry because they're so, like, well acted. There's this
Are
one
you sure
scene.
maybe you're not just going insane?
I was going insane, but there's this one scene where, like, his family is, like he goes back home somehow, where he gets captured and he goes back home. I can't fully fucking remember. But he goes back home, and he's, like, a zombie and stuff, and his whole family is freaking out outside this, like, glass door, but it's obvious that, like, and they're, like trying to connect with him and be like, is there anything in you? And you can just tell that he just doesn't. Like, this is from the perspective of a zombie, but the zombie is not sentient at all. Like, he's gone. And so it's you understanding everything, but it's obvious he doesn't. And it's kind of fucked up. It's really good, though. But also bad. I really had nothing to say. Limited recall memories. You learn nothing but these guys. Killing myself, no, I can take it. I think I could do this. Also, they're in Britain, and I think I just wouldn't be in that situation.
That's the same situation with 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Have you watched it? It's canon.
It's on the thing.
Okay, it's canonical, but
It only happens in Britain, yes.
Everywhere else is normal.
Yeah.
What
It's so
Brexit does
funny.
to a motherfucker.
I just think that phrase is so funny.
I just don't even know. I just don't even know what to say about this film. Night of the Living Dead. This is the film that most of your parents will think is the first ever zombie film, and there's a reason for that, and I will talk about it in a minute. So when the dead begin to rise, 7 strangers are trapped together in a house. Will they be able to survive the apocalypse, or will their conflicting ideas get in the way? So this movie twists and turns about who the main character is. For a while, I didn't know. If I'd gone in knowing, I think I would have had a little bit of a better time. There is a traveling zombie killing posse of rednecks that is really effective at killing zombies, and it's really funny. It like keeps like there's like shit going on in the house, and it keeps cutting to like war propaganda of these like rednecks going in with their guns. It's hilarious. Acting was really good. There's a truck scene. Hashtag Cooper was right. He's a guy, and they were all like, "You're stupid," but he was right. So, justice for my boy. He sucked, but you know, he was right. So Scared of Fire, caused by radiation from Venus. They use tools and they punch people, and then they eat them. They're not very strong individually, but they overwhelm with numbers. That's something they say in the film. Killing myself. No, only because the rednecks are out there. And my strat for surviving the zombie apocalypse is the only thing that saved the guy in the film. So I'm like, I think I could have, if I come up with it, if I would have been in that situation, I would have hid in the basement and survived.
Yeah.
Until the
Is that the strat?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, okay, so let's talk about the cultural impact of Night of the Living Dead. So this was the template for all zombie films that came after it. Most of what you associate with zombies comes from this film. We talked about how zombies originated from voodoo, and that's why most of these films were voodoo. After this film does not have voodoo. It has radiation and stuff. And you'll notice a notable shift about zombies and their behaviors after this film. This film introduced cannibalism. This film introduced the staggery slow walk, the like hordes of zombies. That was this movie. Zombies, from part of this film, focused on the forced subjugation of white plantation owners, 2 black slaves, and the loss of psyche. We talked about this. This is the fears of the time. Night of the Living Dead focuses its horrors on the fears of the hidden violence of man and the devolation of society to mindless conformist masses. I wonder if there was something going on at the time that might have been relevant to this. We'll never know. Yes, Vietnam War, and it was a commentary on the Vietnam War, and about how your neighbor is more violent than you think they are. Notable that this shift coincided, the shift away from this kind of racist messaging coincided with the first black horror protagonist ever.
Whoa.
Which was his film. It's really cool. Moving on. Oh, he disappeared. Moving on. We Bury the Dead. This movie came out this year. And I expected it to be way better than it was. When an
They had so much time to make it good.
When an EM pulse weapon is dropped on Tasmania and corpses begin reanimating, a woman working with the body retrieval team, American, sets out on a journey to find out what remains of her husband. The Americans are the bad guys in this film. It's a great soundtrack and lighting. This movie did something weird with its ending. I might just talk about this because I didn't really like the film this much, but the whole movie is about this woman desperately doing everything, breaking all the rules to get to her husband, and you think for most of the film that it's because she like really loves him. It's like this journey. She gets there, and it's because like she cheated on him, and then he cheated on her, and it was kind of like a hate. She wanted to like tell him. I think it was like tell him how much she hates him or something at the end of his life or something. She's like, and the end, only some of the people who got hit by this EM pulse reanimate, and he doesn't. And she's devastated that he didn't reanimate because she wanted to like look him in. Because she thinks that there's something there.
Yeah.
Like they're not just undead. There's like something behind it. And she's kind of right. But she wants to like look into his eyes one last time and be like, "Fuck you, bitch," or something. I don't remember. It was
That's crazy levels of pettiness.
yeah, it was
Like,
crazy.
I respect it.
The acting ranged from mid to bad.
Oh.
It was terrible. This movie kind of sucked in general, but other than that, zombies were freaky.
Oh.
Oh, I should have put a trigger warning. By the way, there are some really scary zombies, especially the later on we go. It's around this point, around 16, the zombies gonna progressively get scarier and scarier. Number 1, I'm warning you right now. Number 1 on this list is so scary I will not be able to look at the screen. It freaks me out so fundamentally
Might have
bad.
nightmares.
I had nightmares.
Okay.
Okay, I'm doing the warning now. I was going to do it when we came to it, but I'm going to do the warning now. Number 1 on this list, do not watch the film. Okay? I'm being so fucking serious. It is
What did it
not
say?
good enough to justify the shit that it will do to your brain. It fucked me up so bad. Anyway, we'll get to it.
Look, you traumatize yourself for.
I told you there was a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10
Yeah.
film scariness zombie theories. scariness, there's one, and
That's
it's number 1 on the list, and I don't want to talk about
I'm
it.
kind of curious now because I got monkey brain.
Yes. So the US detonated a weapon in New Zealand that left people brain dead. Only some of the dead rise again, and the longer they are, the more violent they get. Supposedly, they kind of don't explain anything. This movie ends with this woman being like, I kind of wanted a baby, and then she finds a baby in the ruins. I don't fucking know.
There's like a bunch of random shit
I
going
don't
on.
fucking know. The zombies are really freaky in this film, so that's kind of good. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like this film.
Oh.
I'm sorry, guys. I have seen this film. This is one of the films that I have seen twice. I watched it the first time because my dad absolutely loves this film. I like this director, and I like Hot Fuzz and stuff. I really don't like Shaun of the Dead. It is so not my humor. I think it's really not enjoyable. However, the zombies in this film are really fucking freaky. So a British man is broken up with. I'm not gonna go too much in depth because this is on the list. British man is broken up with the day before the zombie apocalypse starts. Can he and his best friend work together to save the people and places they love? The main character sucks as a person, which makes him hard to root for because he keeps fucking winning. Or at least he does at the end, and I just fucking want to kill him. Yeah, white guy says the N-word for no reason. I don't know, of the time. Casual
2004.
zombie slavery thrown in for laughs. We'll talk about it. Easily fooled by acting like a zombie. They're dumb as bricks. Seem easy to avoid if you're not a moron. Once again, the dumbass returns.
So why are you killing yourself?
Yeah, you are killing yourself.
Because there's a lot of them that are really scary. Unfortunately, I am a bit of a moron. You have to break through walls and doors. Yeah. Once again, this is in Britain, so it wouldn't be me. But you know, I think if I was vacationing in Britain and this happened, I think maybe I just wouldn't live. You know, I just wouldn't do it. Next film. Oh yeah, never mind. Let's talk about zombie slavery. I am shocked by the amount of films on this list and in general that end with zombie slavery that the film considers morally okay because the zombies are mindless monsters. And basically all those movies where this appears, zombies are the type that seem to remember some of their past lives, which make it even worse. This practice is especially concerning when one considers the origins of zombies come from Haitian slaves and the use of zombie threats by slave drivers to keep their slaves complicit in their abuse. This is weird. This is weird messaging. This is a weird practice, and I hate it. And I don't know why it keeps happening in all these fucking films. Let's please stop. That's my PSA.
Okay, in your honor, I'll make a zombie movie where it doesn't happen.
Please.
Wait,
Oh
that's
my
what we
God.
should
That's
do.
yeah, our movie that we want to make.
There are plenty of zombie films that don't, that just don't do the slavery, but they do it. But a lot of them do.
It's enough that it's a pattern.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like, there is a trend in a lot of zombie films where you see zombies, strung up with chains, or like a lot of films where like the edgy like one action movies, it's like there's the survivor base and they like chain up a zombie at the entrance or whatever, or they like use the zombie as a tool, and I think that's weird. But I also think there's actual like real zombie slavery in a lot of these movies, and a lot of them are like comedy films, and so it's supposed to be like a joke, and it's never funny. And I just think people need to be more aware of that. Let's talk about Pontypool. I liked Pontypool. Pontypool is a Canadian film.
Oh.
It's a small radio station in the city of Pontypool, Canada, breaks the story of a language-based zombie outbreak, live as it happens.
What's the realization one?
Yes. I'm not gonna really. I think I talk about it a little bit, but I actually think this is a really good film. It's scary as balls. Okay. This film is really good though, and it does something I have never ever seen before or since with zombie films or films in general. It is some insane shit, and I really like the like covering the zombie outbreak live, like it's happening now, but they're not experiencing it. They're just hearing what's going on. It's really fucked up. What did I say? Terrifying twist, blah, blah, blah. Audio booth scene. If you know, you know. No one knows. I'm a little bit stupid, so I didn't really understand the ending, but I'm sure it meant something.
Maybe if we watch it, we can see if we can get
I want to
together.
watch it. I'm so curious.
Oh, yeah.
Language
I
base.
took a time lapse
Oh
of
my
me
God.
watching.
Oh no, you're.
Yeah, see, it happened to you, now it's happening to me.
Hi, guys. I took a time lapse of me watching Pontypool. I learned so many new things doing this project. like how to do a time lapse. So this is an hour and a half movie. So this is an hour and a half clip. So you can see the start of this movie is really funny. It's almost a comedy film, and then it starts,
I'm like vaguely smiling.
I'm having a good time, and then it starts to get a little bit more concerning. You'll see, but then it starts getting funny again. So I'm like, and then at some point it's gonna start getting worse.
Can you tell when the audiobook scene comes up?
Yeah, the audiobook scene for sure passed, I think. But it starts getting a little bit more scary and scary. Oh, I think there's a very clear moment that I think the audiobook scene will happen. It's around here somewhere. I think it's for sure around here. I think it's around here. There's one clip in here where the national anthem started playing, so you'll see me salute, but it's for like one frame, so pay attention. I started getting a little.
Jay, I feel so maternal over you. You look so scared.
I thought this was gonna be way more expressive. But it's really funny, and then it was really boring for a little bit.
It's actually kind of funny how
And then it started getting really, really, really scary at the end. And then I started praying because I was so scared. There was the salute, if you missed it. And then I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is like the what the fuck is going on scene. Oh, I'm having fun again. It's funny. Oh no, it's getting scary. I had such a good time.
That was so good. That was
Can you
so
put that
good.
in the playlist so I can
Please add that to the
Yes,
playlist.
I will.
That was so good.
So yeah, that was a good film. I liked it. Okay, so a lot of these images I want to say, some of them, if I was pirating the film, by the way, shout out to Movie Universe. Because I know Movie Universe got me. Also, Plex. Guys, have you ever heard of Plex? Shout out to Plex.
Oh, okay.
Plex has like all the zombie films. Anyway, by the way, Plex doesn't have a skip. I need to talk about Plex. Plex doesn't have a skip. Tubi and Plex were my goats in this, and also Movie Universe. Tubi only has a 30-second skip either direction, and Plex doesn't have any. What the hell is that about?
They're forcing you to be patient and enjoy the magic of cinema without repairing your attention span from the short attention spans of nowadays due to short form video
True,
content.
but sometimes I need to take a screenshot and I missed it the first go around.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
But also sometimes I was on Netflix and couldn't fucking take a screenshot.
Oh my god, I also learned from my project, just YouTube videos, taking a screenshot is so much harder than I thought it would be with a video. Like, there's always motion blur.
It's
Like, I thought you could
It's
just,
the
like,
worst.
take a frame, but there's always motion.
Yeah. This movie was really scary. The zombies were less scary because they have some behavior that's really freaky. I don't want to spoil it because I kind of do want to watch this film with you guys. But the actual like appearance of the zombies was very, very humanoid, so it didn't like implicitly scare me that much. And also a lot of the zombies happens in like an audio only kind of setting. And so it's not as scary, but the film was really fucking scary.
And you are killing
Can
yourself.
we read those notes?
No, because I don't want you to spoil.
No.
Jillian. Just know that they're Hanny check diary number 2. I'm nervous to go outside. I haven't left the house in days. Real. What if there's a zombie out there? I'm nervous to walk through the house in the dark. What if there's something hiding in the shadows?
Is this real?
I was dramatizing a little bit, but I was so fucking actually for real. I was like losing my mind. I
No,
was
that makes
really,
sense, because if I
really
watch
scared.
a really scary movie that happens to me for a night, and I can't imagine you watching scary movies literally every day for months.
I actually was like having trouble sleeping.
Yeah, of course you
For
were.
like a good period, I was having like real trouble sleeping. I'd like turn off my light and I'd like hide under my covers. I was so goddamn scared. And like logically, I know there's not a zombie in my closet, but it's like my fear instinct.
Yeah.
I get that.
Anyway, Anna and the Apocalypse. I've seen this film before. So Christmas musical, but in a zombie film.
Oh.
Anna and her friends, a group of high schoolers, must figure out how to live in the zombie apocalypse, not survive, live. First half is boring. The music, my dad disagrees with me. The music in this film is like kind of bad for being a musical. I don't know what it is with musicals and having bad music. There's one song in this
Their
film.
one job.
I know. There's one song. I don't know why this is up here. There's one song in this film that genuinely, like, I watched the first time I watched this film. I thought it slapped so hard I straight up put it on my playlist. But the rest are like dog shit. There's one song that's like I don't know. They might even have it on the thing. But there's one song that they think is like the theme, and it's like the worst song in the musical.
Oh no.
But anyway, then there were some scary zombies. There was this movie is devastating. Like, it's emotionally devastating. But it's also a comedy. It's unfunny.
I'm so concerned by the thing on the poster that says Shaun of the Dead meets La La Land. What could that possibly mean?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's for sure something. The zombies are freaky. This guy in particular, I really don't like. I had to actually, when I exported the screenshot or whatever, or put on Google Slides, the quality dropped a bunch, and this is like not. Also, I cropped it. But this guy's really freaky. They're all really, really freaky. That's the thing. I've noticed a trend. Some of the scariest zombies on this list are going to be comedy films. And I think that, I don't know what that means, and I didn't really think about it that much, but I do think it's very interesting. I think maybe comedy films, like, they have to know the expectations to subvert them or something. I don't know. Yes, Jillian?
Do you think there is like a theme with zombie movies being comedies?
Oh, there's a lot of them that are comedies.
Like, more than other genres?
You'll see.
Huh.
Would you say like romance and comedy is like a pretty even split?
Yes, and you'll see. Don't worry, guys. You will see everything. There's more to this. You guys think we're almost done, but we're not. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Easily bodied by a bunch of teenagers with no training. These things, you can kill them easily. And that's the only reason killing myself is a no. Also, I think they're attracted to lights. Just shine a spotlight and then get the fuck out of there, which is what they do. Zombie scariness, very scary. The film is not that scary. It's pretty easy balls. 28 days later. I like the film. A man wakes up from a coma 28 days after the zombie apocalypse has begun, and he must quickly learn how the new world works and what his place in it is. So what I have to say, I love road trip films. This is a common theme. You'll see any of the road trip films kind of got bumped up a little just because I enjoy road trip films. I liked how little the zombies were in this, and then they influenced the entire film. They're kind of like a boogeyman, more so than actually present in the film. And I really like that. I actually really like that. Maybe the real flesh-eating monster was the men we met along the way. Upgrade your camera. Oh my god. Holy shit. Camera quality in this film.
I think it was a stylistic choice.
Was it?
Broke.
They didn't do it in the next
I
film.
think it was, yeah, well, they weren't broke in that. Did you watch the next one?
No.
Oh,
Only first film.
It's really good. This one's good, but the next one is really good.
Yes. This is one of the films I watched on a streaming platform I couldn't screenshot, and so I had to go look up images, and I could immediately tell which ones were from this film versus the sequels, just based on camera quality. So let's talk about this.
Britain Lamau.
Only Britain Lamau. Infected by infected blood entering the body. That's fucked up. Killing myself, yes, even though it's in Britain. I think maybe I'm vacationing there, and then the zombie apocalypse happened, and I kill myself immediately. Infection came from roided up angry chimps. Very interesting. This is the one and only.
Why did you say yes?
Because I remember
loves
that.
roided up.
No, because I remember that.
Have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I haven't seen many movies, so that's why I was like excited.
I think Jillian was the reason I watched this film. Just because I heard you talk about it. Like, I knew this is, obviously, I told you guys I Googled most popular zombie films and this was on there, but I specifically wanted to watch this film because I'd heard Jillian talk about it.
Cool.
Pretty good. City of the Living Dead. I fucking hated this film, but I gave it 3 stars because objectively it's pretty good. Objectively it's good, but I didn't really enjoy it. When a psychic has a vision of a portal to hell opening in the city of Dunwich, she and a local reporter team up to stop the rising of the living dead. You think that is going to be the story? Most of this film is just like scenes of scary stuff happening. And then so it'll be like 20 minutes of scary shit happening in town and that leads to nothing, and then it'll cut back to the main plot, and they're still like at another stop on their trip. And it's like the movie is like an hour and a half or something, and they literally get to the city with like 30 minutes left. Like I'm like, what is going on? Let's see. First hour is a slog. Last 20 minutes ruled. The prosthetics in this film, you will see on the next slide. The zombies in this film look so fucking good. Holy shit. No character in this film has any depth to them. They're mostly loosely connected scary scenes. Yeah, I didn't. Freaking stupid. Look at this shit.
Whoa.
Damn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Freaky.
80s prosthetics.
These are weird zombies. They're like ghosts, but they're confirmed to be zombies. Like, I actually almost eliminated this film because they very much seem like ghosts. They have teleportation and telekinesis powers. Not like they go places too fast. They have literal teleportation powers. They caused by the suicide of a priest, which opened a portal to hell. They were just doing shit. Lots of moaning and heavy breathing. Yeah, it was really weird.
I bet.
It was just leave town ? That's what I would do. But nobody wants to do that. And so they all die. I'm joking. They save the day. Sandy check diary 3. I've been having trouble sleeping. I've been keeping myself awake, leaving my light on, and keeping my mind busy working on this presentation. Not good to do before bed. But I think that's making it work worse. Staring at images of zombies right before bed.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Then when I turn off my light, I hide myself under the covers, fearing a hand will reach out from the darkness. True and real.
Wow.
The Night Eats the World. I liked this film. The boys on Letterboxd disagree with me, but you know. A musician wakes up to find zombies may have wiped out the entire population. He struggles with being alone as he survives while trapped in an apartment complex. This film is probably the most realistic portrayal of what an actual zombie apocalypse would look like. Everyone just kind of holding up in their houses trying to make it work with what they got. This is a very COVID lockdown feel movie. Like, not like it was made during COVID lockdown, but like the feeling of being in COVID lockdown, that's what this film represents. It is, nothing happens in this film really, but I really liked that. Like I said, the Letterboxd girlies did not disagree. They disagree with me, but I really liked it as a stylistic choice. I really quite enjoyed this film. The zombies.
I didn't get to read the thing.
Wait, the review also says 28 days later meets Shaun of the Dead. Why do so many of these meet Shaun of the Dead?
Because it's the one zombie film everyone knows. But like I said, I didn't enjoy that film, so like, the acting in this film is like, the zombies are silent. Fucked up. There's not a lot of films on this list that have silent zombies. I just didn't really mention it, but they're very quiet. I think they make like mouth closing noises, not like snapping, but like not popping. I'm doing it badly, but
I get it.
You're alone.
like, and it's kind of freakier. They're attracted to sound. They only hunt humans. Cats are fine. What can I say? Does the dog die in this? Does the cat die in this film? Yes. From zombies? No. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna say this because it is a scene that's gonna happen in the movie, and I think it doesn't spoil anything. But there's a scene where this guy is like, he's like it's very COVID lockdown. Like he's starved for attention or something. Or like he wants to see someone else. He sees this cat, and he like risks his life to go save this cat, and he runs back inside, almost having died. And he looks at the window, and the cat is just like unaffected by everything because the zombies don't go after the cat. And he gets so mad, he shoots the cat with like a shotgun. It's kind of like a state, like his mental state degrading. But I was shocked. I had to go on Does the Dog Die and like check that the cat actually died. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I love that
Also,
last.
Yeah.
The last. Note there.
Do you really want to survive in the apocalypse if you live in France? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's in France. They don't have a French accent or anything. It's technically set in France.
So they're just speaking English with an American accent, but it's set in French?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's really interesting that they're silent and attracted to sound.
Yeah. Most of this entire film takes place in a single building. It's most of it in a single room. Even it's really cool.
Do they defeat
Also,
the zombies?
No.
Ooh.
In fact, he does almost nothing in this film.
Oh.
Like I said,
Like I said,
it's a very boring and very stale film. That's why I think it's realistic and I think it's good. People will disagree with me.
But you did want to kill yourself.
I did want to kill myself for sure because I think even if, well, first of all, there's a lot of zombies and I think they're really fast too. So if you were outside when this happened, you're like straight up dead. If you're inside, I think you would want to kill yourself by the end. So yeah, the Spore was other than Fido, this was the most disappointing film on this entire list. This film has such a compelling premise. The zombies in this film at the start of the film are so cool. They do everything practically in this film, no CGI, and the puppets are like really good, and it gets progressively worse. So this is a series of interconnected stories of 10 different people as they deal with a spore-based plague causing people to become withered and violent. So it'll be like one person, and then something happens to them, and then it cuts to another person, and they've kind of got like interconnecting. So like this guy infected this guy, and this is like the sister of this guy or whatever and stuff. And every person is worse than the last. I mean, like every story they tell is just like progressively worse. Like they start with their heavy hitters and they just fuck it all up. I'm so mad at this film. You can see there's a lot of things here, and that's because they just do something different every time. There's no consistency. I had no idea what to do with any of this in terms of like ranking or anything, because literally every zombie in this film is completely different than the other ones.
Oh, okay.
So this is the first zombie in the film. If all the zombies were like that, easily like a 9. That's scary to me. That's my scary.
Wild, yeah.
I don't like that guy. And then that guy's also kind of freaky. And then there's this like,
I can't tell what the bottom thing is.
oh yeah,
What's
so
going
that's
on?
like there's like spore. Like the guy is like all like blackened with like spore and stuff, and then there's like a spore like like spider web. You know, in the corner there's a lot of spider webs.
or whatever.
Yeah, like that. And then in the center, there's a creature coming out of it. Because, by the way, they decided that these are not like zombies. They're like, they infect their hosts with the spore, and then they wander and they turn violent, and then out bursts like this monster with like jaws.
Like Alien?
Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't expecting it. I was really disappointed by that change because they're like, it's aliens all along. Hate that. Every Improvo, I think I must have talked about them. A sports take over the body, making them violent and kills them in less than a day. Don't know how it spread that much.
So you are killing yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. Oh for sure. I just don't think I could do it.
Question.
Yeah.
So you were disappointed by it, but it was still really scary.
Yes. That's what I said, is that the zombie ranking does not equal the zombie scariness. The film ranking does not equal the zombie scariness. Because I didn't really like this film, but the zombies were really freaky. That guy's really fucking freaky. I'm discounted. Like, this shit, I don't really know how to describe what's going on, but this scene was really scary. And then everything after that was like, oh my god, stop being fucking idiots. They're like, let's go into this abandoned garage where creepy noises are coming out. Let's turn our backs to the sounds. What will happen? Anyway. The Girl with All the Gifts.
Oh, I've seen this one.
I've also seen this film before, and both times I have not enjoyed it.
Oh, I liked it.
I really liked. Every time I think I'm gonna like it, and then I get to the last like, I don't know, 40 minutes, and I'm like, I hate this film. But objectively, it's like pretty good. So after their military base is overrun by hungry zombies, a few personnel and a young zombie hybrid girl must make the trek to a new location in order to survive. The main actress sucked, I think, personally, and I really hated her character, which is like a double whammy for things that immediately kind of turn you off of a movie. The beginning of this film was good. I really liked it. The ending did not feel built up enough, and I think it was probably this based on a book, and I think it was probably due to them cutting stuff, I would guess. And the soundtrack was really good, I have to say. They have these weird shit all over their skin. It's like mud clumps. They like to sunbathe. They're spore based. They photosynthesize, and you can kind of walk up to them. But freaky. The infected pregnant women can give birth to half zombie hybrids.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Makes so much sense.
So that's how that happens. It was weird. Holy shit, these guys are fast, they're violent, they're freaky. Did not like them.
You're killing yourself.
Yeah, The Cured. Oh, I love The Cured. The Cured is a very good film. This is the only film that talks about what happens after the zombie apocalypse. After the zombie apocalypse, most infected in Ireland have been cured, but the people still retain the memories of what they did when they were zombies. Is reintegration truly possible? This film is about, I think it's about racism, but in the good way. Well, not in the good way racism, but like, I wouldn't say racism, but it's about like societal bias and stuff. This movie tackles something I've always wondered about zombie films, which is what happens afterwards. There is a cure. Mostly, there's a cure. The acting and writing are really good. I love the normal scene. Oh yeah, there's a lot of scenes where, because it's after, but they like flash back and stuff. But every scene with the people who were cured is like filmed like a zombie film. Like there's scenes where they're just like walking up behind somebody normally, but like the way the film like films it is if it's this scary thing, because it's still treating them as though they're zombies, even in the film itself.
That's
really cool. The villain is a guy, and he sucks. The ending was weird. I don't fully understand it, but I did like it. Also it's gay, guys. So fun fact. I was gonna do this for every gay film I watched, and then this ended up being the only film that was gay out of all 30 films. You think zombies is gay? Nope.
I think if you did vampires, it'd be gayer.
Yeah, I also agree. So I was really disappointed, but I set up this whole gag, and then this is one of the earlier films I watched. I set up this whole gag, I made this slide, and then it was the only one I was able to use it for. So I thought I'd bring that up. I made this whole asset and everything. Let's talk about zombies. Freaky. I know they don't look that freaky, but it's like the way they act is freakier than the way they look. Heavy breathing, prominent veins. They obviously, like I said, they retain their memories. And what's even worse, they know everything they are doing while they're doing it, but they cannot stop.
Wow.
Fucked up. And they talk about this. Also, zombie pack familiarity and sort of a mental connection. You think this is the gay? It's not, I swear. Killing myself? Yup. Absolutely.
You don't want to deal with that if you get cured.
Even if you get cured?
Well, they didn't know there was a cure at the time, right? So I'm thinking first zombie apocalypse, you know.
I think...
And also, sorry.
No, it's okay. You go ahead. You present it.
I was just going to say that I think the way this film, by the way, like I said, this film is about the cured and how being cured is not better. In fact, one of the points that some of the zombies make in this film, I'm not going to spoil too much, is that some of the zombies believed they were better off as zombies. They enjoyed being zombies more than they enjoy being people who are cured.
What does that mean?
You will see if you watch the film. I recommend it. This is one of my 5-star movies. I don't actually know. Also, I should say that my rankings, my ratings, are actually not like my Letterboxd ratings. They're different. But I don't. I think
actually only has sense to me.
I'm sorry. I'm like crazy with like rankings and ratings and stuff. But I'm like this is in the context. This is a 5-star zombie film, but it wouldn't be like a 5-star film for me.
That makes sense.
So I wouldn't say this is a 5-star film, but I liked it, and as a zombie film, I think it's really good. And it was freaky. This is also one of the scariest films. There was only one day where I watched 2 zombie films, and they both ended up being in my top 10.
Yay.
So,
my cynical viewpoint is that I don't think if there was a cure for these zombies, it just seems too high cost, low reward to cure them. Like, to go up to these people who are really dangerous and try and cure them. I just feel like, based on my cynical point in the world, I feel like it'd be more efficient to kill them all. So I feel like governments and military
you should watch this film.
just do that.
I think you should watch this film because they do
wait.
talk about that.
Maybe we should watch it together.
If you want to. Sanity check diary 4. I've begun to settle down a bit. I'm not as scared as I was before. Even the movies are starting to scare me less. Is that because they're less terrifying movies, or because I'm becoming desensitized? Or maybe I'm just sleep deprived. I'm still having trouble falling asleep. Zombieland.
Oh.
I've also seen this movie a couple times, and this movie I actually like. I don't think it's an amazing film, but I like it every time I watch it, even though it's kind of like stupid, and I kind of don't like the humor in it. It's a road trip movie. I love road trip movies. What can I say? Main character is really misogynistic, but only ever rewarded for it, ? It's a 2009 movie. I don't know what I was expecting. Character montage happens. Oh, Bill Murray. There's a Bill Murray cameo, and it literally, if they had cut the Bill Murray cameo, I think it would have fixed every problem I have with the film, because they could have used that time to
Get him out of here.
It goes on so long, and they could have used that time to set up the plot a little bit more. Crazy concept. An unlikely family, the last survivors of the zombie apocalypse, team up on a road trip to an amusement park, finding life, laughs, and love along the way. I wrote all these descriptions just based on vibes.
Wow.
They're freaky. They're really scary. I don't like them. They look really weird. A lot of the zombies here. This is once again a comedy film with really scary zombies. Can be fooled by dressing in zombie makeup. Shout out Bill Murray. They respect plot armor, and they're stupider than the people in this movie, which is saying a lot. I will say. Killing myself, yes. I just think I don't think I can handle. I think I would immediately die, and then I would kill myself in that order. They're very scary. They like to eat people. They're fast, and I don't like them. Blood quantum.
Oh.
When an indigenous reserve find out that they are the only immune during the outbreak of a zombie apocalypse, they protect themselves from threat both outside and within. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this film. I think objectively this film is like a 4-star movie. I don't know if I liked it a 4-star movie. It does some shit with zombies I have never seen before in my goddamn life.
Like what?
We'll talk about it, but I don't really want to go too much into it. But a lot of the acting sucked, which is one of the main reasons I kind of dislike this movie. In particular, the mom, and she's like one of the 2 main characters, and she's just like so bad at acting. Personally, it took me out. Very interesting take on immunity. I've never seen it before. Also, evil ass time skip. How the fuck do you like set up like the first bit is like about the outbreak, and then they time skip like 8 months. They time skip all past all the interesting stuff. Yes.
Do you know the blood quantum lore? Did they talk about it in the movie? Or did you talk about it in the presentation?
The like what is blood quantum and stuff. They don't. They kind of discuss it, but I had to like look it up afterwards. But do you want?
So you do know, because I feel like
But-
it might help the understanding of the movie, knowing what it is.
What like?
It was a system where it was like determined whether you got indigenous status based on whether
So
like your complicated ass shit with your parents, and it was basically set up so that people over time would lose indigenous status and then indigenous would be integrated into the
So you'd think that would play a role in this, but it doesn't. I think that was just a cool
just a
name.
pun.
I think it's a cool name they picked. I actually wish they had kind of touched on that a bit more. I think the like immunity aspect of it is like one of the most interesting parts of the film, and they kind of don't really talk about it that much. I don't really know how to describe this movie. I also I barely remember this movie, to be honest. Remember I was talking about zombies hanging outside of bases based on chains? I was literally talking about this film because they do that in this film. It kind of was annoying. Zombies in this film was really freaky. And just people are immune to being affected. Animals can also be infected. This is what I was talking about, one of the things I've never seen. Have you ever seen a zombie fish before?
No.
What the fuck? Crazy shit. Also, the other thing is that there's a scene in this film where a pregnant woman gets infected and she rips the baby from her womb and eats it on screen. I've never seen that before either, even though it was really weird.
You're like, damn.
Also attracted to sound. I should have had that as one of the things, but I didn't know how to manage it. Wreck is the other movie I watched on the same day I watched The Cure. Wreck is genuinely one of the scariest films I have seen ever. It is terrifying. It is a found footage film. It's found footage done right. This is the way you do found footage.
How is it done right?
Well,
Close Encounter?
huh?
Oh.
Grave Encounters.
Grave Encounter.
It was also Grave Encounters is also really good. So there's a couple of things that I really like about found footage, and one of them is when they're scary, which I know is such an obvious thing, but you'd be shocked. And then the other thing is, one of the things that I think really makes a good found footage is knowing how to use your medium to make it scary. And a lot of found footage is just camera, shaky camera. That's the scary part. But this one is it uses and the fact that this is a documentary, it's filmed as if it's a documentary. Most of the documentary ones go over well, so it gives a justification for why they keep fucking grabbing this camera, putting themselves in life or death situations to grab this goddamn camera. Really scary. It's also, I should say, this is a Spanish film. I watched it in Spanish. I actually think I watched it dubbed just because I couldn't find it subbed. But it did so well. It was so popular that the Americans adapted it into an English film, and I think I haven't seen it, but it was worse. Based on ratings, it was worse. They also made 10 sequels, and I haven't seen any of those. But it's a film crew records a documentary as an apartment complex is quarantined during the outbreak of a zombie virus. Terrifying film. Whoa! I forgot to change the description. That's not the comments I have for this film. That was a copy-paste error. That's from Zombieland. That's a copy-paste error. That's fine. I can remember what it was, surely. There's some freaky guys They're quite freaky. I for sure have notes. I just don't remember what they are. I took notes throughout the whole thing. What can I say? They
What made the zombies a 9 out of 10?
Yeah, 9 out of 10 is crazy.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 is crazy. I think part of it was environmental. The fact that they were confined within an apartment complex with zombies running around. They're fast. They're scary. They're almost basically unkillable. They're not unkillable, but they're basically unkillable. They have this way of like disguising that they're hidden for long periods of time.
I don't like that.
I think this is a really good film, and I think I put it on the list, so I don't really want to spoil too much.
Okay.
There is also the ending scene is like terrifying. It's some like Outlast shit.
Is that kind of like the bottom right?
Yes,
there?
that's like the bottom right one. There's some like Outlast.
I don't like that bottom right one.
Yeah, I can't believe I fucked up this slideshow. Train to Busan. If you look at, this is number 3, one of the top 3. If you look at anyone who watches zombie films and their list of the scariest zombie films, this will guaranteed be in the top 3. A lot of times it is number 1, not necessarily scariest, but for best zombie films. If you know anything about zombie films, you've probably heard of this film. This film is really good. There's a reason it like lives up to its hype. A selfish father takes his daughter on a train to Busan, South Korea. When a zombie outbreak occurs on the train, can the people on the train work together to survive? This movie is objectively the perfect zombie movie. I'm not saying it's like a perfect film or anything. I'm saying that if you want like the perfect zombie film, is this film. It is terrifying. It's scary. It has strong characters, a strong plot, strong story. The acting is great. It naturally gives the characters emotional room to breathe and grow while also balancing the horror of the monsters they faced. This is really good film. I cannot praise it enough.
Did you watch? Didn't it get? Oh, was that the remake? Wasn't there like?
I think there's only been one. They're veiny and they got crackly bones. This is one of the scariest bits. Infection takes over within seconds of the bite, which you wouldn't think is scary, but it's like almost instant. It's really scary. They only go feral when they can see the uninfected. So they're, other than that, they also cannot work doors. Stupid. Really scary. I don't really know what to say other than killing myself. Absolutely. In a heartbeat.
Don't take
I
the
would
train
kill
to
this guy.
Busan.
Just
Do it
don't
differently, take a plane or something.
Yeah.
Just don't be in that situation.
Yeah, I simply
Okay.
wouldn't be on a train to Busan.
This is also the last 2 films I didn't like, so this is the
Oh.
last good film. World War Z.
Oh, there's an American remake.
Of course there is. So, when a zombie virus begins infecting people, former UN investigator must leave his family behind to try and investigate a way to stop it. I didn't like this film for a number of reasons. So,
What does
honestly-
this have to do with Israel?
this is the biggest reason I didn't like this film. This film is like heavy Israeli propaganda, I feel, in my opinion. It's based on a book. I'm not sure it was necessarily... It's hard to say. It's not necessarily the point was that it was supposed to be Israeli propaganda. I think it's mostly because there's a scene that requires a big-ass wall, and Israel has a big-ass wall, and I think that was the big reason.
The concept of making Israeli propaganda
But-
movie just because you wanted to use their
But
big ass
okay,
wall.
let's talk. I wrote it in here, but let me talk about this scene. There's a long ass scene in Israel that I was not expecting. By the way, it came out of nowhere. And it's just like I talked to my dad about this, and he was like, "Well, I don't really think they were like trying to make it Israeli propaganda and stuff." I was like, "Okay, but you can't have a scene in your film where the zombies invade and destroy Israel because the Palestinians were making too much noise."
Yeah.
That feels like a crazy thing. And then one of the main protagonists is an IDF soldier who's like painted in a really good light. And they're like, we're the Israelis. We're the last bastion of peace in the world of zombies. And I'm like, oh. So that's one of the main reasons. The other reason is I don't like Brad Pitt. I know that's so petty, but I just really don't like him. And I didn't like him in this movie. However, I will say, the way... Like I said, this is rating does not equal scariness of the zombies. I did not like this film, but the scariness of the zombies. The way this film plays with human bodies is so fucking insane.
What do you mean by
I will show you on the next slide. Some very intense moments. blah blah blah. Oh, I did not care about the characters. This is like the only film. A lot of these films are like, I need to save my family, and you're usually like, okay, I get it. This is the only film where they do that, where I'm like, I just don't buy that you guys are a happy family. You know, like I just don't care because I feel like you don't care. Like he wants to get back to his wife, but I'm like, why? It just feels like you hate her. So I just don't care. Oh, I took a heart rate monitor of myself watching
genuinely?
the movie.
Oh, so
Wait,
what
it's
happened at 40 minutes in?
I realized I had to go pee. I labeled what each of these were.
Why,
So-
why are you so scared when you realize you have to go
Well, I
pee?
told you I developed this
Right.
bladder
It's
OCD.
my
So
car.
I was like,
All the way at the bottom.
I told you I really don't like Brad Pitt. Okay, so let's go through this. So Brad Pitt got hit by a car, and I was like, yay, he's dead. And then he came back, and I was like,
Why are you so anxious about a car stalling?
oh yeah, because I felt that in my soul a little bit. There's this zombie scene where they were chasing them. I had like a panic attack because I realized I had to go pee or
What
something.
was like the scariest thing that happened to you this whole movie?
And then I went pee and I felt a lot of
Why was it so terrifying to go pee?
Unsilenced phone gave him away. I was like, oh fuck man. Oh, this is the shit where they got to Israel and you can see my heart rate steadily climbing. This is the bit where they climbed over the fucking wall. I'll show you a pic in a second. They climbed over the goddamn wall. And then blah blah blah. And then it was like, we're on a plane, we're having fun. There's one on the plane, fuck. And then the plane crashed and I was like, oh yeah, Brad Pitt died. And then he was alive. And then holy shit, they yabbed about boring family shit. And then this guy was like withholding important plot info to the good guys, and I was losing my fucking mind. And then they went on a stealth mission, and I was like, oh, we gotta be quiet. And then the stealth mission went wrong. And then I thought Brad Pitt was gonna die.
You're so sad every time you think he's gonna die.
And then a scary zombie jumped out of nowhere, and then I was like,
Can I just say, the concept of making is really propaganda just because you want to use a big ass wall for a cool zombie bit is so funny.
So, yeah, so this is what I mean by they play with zombies. Like, it's almost like a fluid simulation of zombies. Like, the zombies, they want to bite others without care for harm to themselves. I have never seen zombies that are this ravenous just to kill you. So much so that they fucking scale this massive goddamn wall. They grab onto this fucking helicopter just because they climb over each other to get over the wall. And also they just keep jumping off buildings. Like, the whole movie, they're jumping off buildings. Baby. Freaky shit. There's this one scene in Israel. I didn't like that scene, but but the way they were like, it was like literal like, you know, like imagine a scene in like a city with like alleys and stuff, and it's like a flood, and the water's like sloshing down through the passageways. Like, you can picture that in your mind. Just imagine that water is then like zombies. That's what it is. That's what the film is like.
I hate that.
I hate that, right? That's why it's number 2. Also, he's kind of freaky, and they click. They click, and I don't like them.
I'm genuinely wondering if I've seen this movie because I have seen zombie movies like that, and I'm wondering if it's this one.
It probably is. This is a very famous scene. I
Yeah.
didn't like this one though. Okay,
Number 1.
sanity check diary.
Oh.
I feel nothing. I was pretty desensitized to this point. And then I watched number 1 on the list. Never mind. I watched The Sadness, and now I'm scared of anything. Number 1 on the list is The Sadness. It is a Taiwanese film. In Taiwan, a couple try to reunite when a contagion causing people to commit horrific acts of violence against others begins. This movie made me this is my serious voice. This movie made me so viscerally uncomfortable. I do not like watching the things in this movie. It was really fucked up, and it was just a collection of these types of scenes. There were moments of kindness that I really liked, and that's the only reason it made it this high. It's objectively a pretty good movie. It's not a type of movie I like to watch at all, and if I had not been doing this presentation, I would have clicked off this movie so early. This movie fucked me up. There's some really good emotional moments. This movie gave me whiplash because it's the most like horrific scenes you have ever seen. It's like essentially like torture porn, and then it cuts to like a really emotional scene that like really enhances the characters and the depth of the movie, and you're like, wow, this is great. And then it follows it up with more torture porn, and you're like, oh, please. Okay, I can't look. I can't look. So the zombies look like this. Oh, no!
One
Oh
more.
yeah, so I wrote this quote. This is from me, quoting me. I wrote this in my notes after the film. The only thing more terrifying than mindless monsters only seeking to consume is aware monsters seeking to enact as much cruelty as possible.
Like humans?
Yes, that is the film. It is a virus. I'm just gonna preempt, so I don't have to look at the screen. I'm gonna preface. So the zombies in this film are sentient, aware people who have been inflicted with a virus, which essentially, Emily, they talk about in the film. It like connects two parts of the brain or something. It's like the pleasure area, and then the like, I don't know. There's like two areas that connect or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it drives them to want to commit the most heinous acts and enact the most suffering on others. But they're aware the whole time, and remember when I said that these are not like classic zombies, and there's like, sometimes they're sentient, sometimes they're aware, and sometimes they're not undead. These are not undead. They are sentient, and they know what they're doing. So let's look. Okay, so they have huge smiles. They have tears streaming down their face. The explanation for this in the movie is that in the film they are aware. They're aware of everything. They know what they're doing, and so they're crying because they're so sad at the things that they are doing to the people around them. But because of their fucked up limbic system is infected, they're happy because they're committing so much violence, and so they have these huge, terrifying grins, and just like, but they're crying the whole time. They're really fucked up. 10 out of 10. There are some, there's like one scene in particular that really, really fucked me up, but I don't want to talk about it. But I really, like, I wish I could, because I want to give an example of the kind of things that happen in this movie. But when I say the most fucked up acts of violence, I mean, like, the worst thing you can think of. Nothing is off the table in this film. And they do it for fun. So, we're done. That was number 1. So, I made some lists. So the top 5 scariest, we're not done. Top 5 sorry. I told you this presentation was being long.
No, it's okay. I was just clapping because I was proud of you for getting through the movie.
Thank you. Top 5 scariest zombies, not zombie films. Zombies was, in this order, The Sadness, World War Z, Train to Busan, Blood Quantum, and Zombieland. This is what we saw in the ranking. Our top 5 scariest films, objectively ignoring the zombie stuff, was The Sadness, Wreck, Train to Busan, Autopsy of Jane Doe, and Blood Quantum. Then I would talk about my top 5 favorite films: One Cut of the Dead, Train to Busan, The Cured, Wreck, and Reanimator. I really like that film. And then top 5 movie night films: One Cut of the Dead, Wreck, Reanimator, Pontypool, and Zombies. I knew you guys would love that film. See, you latched onto all the ones that I knew it. So, you may have noticed that we haven't answered our thesis question. What makes a zombie scary? That's because I tricked you. You thought this was a slideshow about zombie movies. Wrong. It's actually about data analysis. Yay! Jay gets to talk about computers. And which one scared me the most?
Oh my
So,
god, I love
let's
it.
talk about data collection.
Oh my
I
god,
set up this
love it.
Google form, and I filled it out for each movie. So this movie has, I can't remember, it was a bunch of questions. It was probably like 20 or something. So I wrote about the name of the film, some description. I had a space where I could write comments about the zombies, comments about the movie. And then and then there also was like a rating for the movie, a scariness rating, a movie scariness rating. These are important. Remember these terms: zombie scary, movie scary, movie rating. This later became a movie ranking, which is different than the rating. These are technical terms that you will need to know in a second. I also had like a checklist with all the traits. You remember those like little circles and stuff? I had a checklist with all the traits, and I would click down each one as they came. And then I auto set this to export to a Google Sheets, and then I exported that as a CSV file. And I wrote a Python program. I wrote a really big, that's one snippet of the Python program. This is a Python program that reads the data in from my CSV file into Python, and I set it up as like a dictionary, dictionary is like, I'm going to explain a dictionary just because it will come up in a second. A dictionary is a data type in Python in which it's like a key associated with a value. What that means is, like, the best way to describe this is like a form or something. Like when you're filling out something and ask you like, what's your name? And then you fill in your name. And then what's your age? You fill in your age. And so the key would be your name. And then the value would be whatever you input, say. And so and then the actual dictionary itself would be you, right? So there would be multiple dictionaries, one for each person. And in that, they would have key value pairs about the information about that person. I'm losing my voice.
I know, right? Now you feel me.
Holy shit, bro.
Do you need water?
No, I'm all good.
Don't speak from your throat.
So let's talk about minimizing and analyzing bias in films. By the way, this section is going to have some stuff that people in this room, anyone who has taken a statistics course, you're going to recognize some of this stuff. I'm still going to cover it anyway.
I'm excited.
Don't worry, we'll probably recognize some of this. So we're going to talk about minimizing and analyzing bias. So I collected both information, like relevant data, and then I also collected this demographic and environmental data relating to film genre, release year, and more. So that there would be ideally, there would be some evenly distributed data for each of these data types.
Cat
Why
meowing.
do you meow so
He's
loud?
left meowing at the door down there. So like ideally, we would have an even split of film genres, say, right? And so because it's the ideal situation, we can identify biases by observing notably higher or lower data spikes. So you can see here, this one's way lower, and this one's way higher. So this is my very objective ranking. And some biases will always be present. I am ranking this shit on my own, right? So obviously I'm going to be biased, especially since this is subjective ratings. The goal is not to remove the bias, but identify where it is and the extent that that influences the results. So like, I know, like, this looks really scary, but if this is something like release year or something, it's not necessarily that, or maybe not that, but like there are some things where it's like, setting, like where they're located or something. Maybe this is like number of films based in houses.
Right.
It's like that really doesn't make that much of a difference. It for sure maybe influences a little, but it's not a huge difference. But if it was something like I don't know, if it was something really important, that would be a lot scarier. So just knowing where the bias is and how it impacts our data. So let's go to some not super useful graphs. So we can see genre breakdown. Horror is like any film that didn't have a clear secondary genre. These are the secondary genres mostly. So like a film could be a horror and a comedy, but a comedy is less common, so I put it as a comedy. It was a horror comedy, right? I didn't do duplicates for this specifically. So we can see that there's actually a fairly even split. I know it looks like it's not really, but this is actually fairly good for what we're expecting. So I would say that that's all good for me. This is also what we would expect. I actually think I think action is a little bit lower than I would expect, but this is mostly good. Then, what's the next one? Oh, this here is zombie locations. This looks really bad because of the other, but these are like one-offs. Like, something that's not on there. But we can see that that's not really relevant. And then the distribution of film rankings. The one thing you can see here is that I like to rate Y higher. This is true always. I'm a high rater. I like to rank movies higher than they probably should be.
What movies did you give it 1 star? I feel like even the movies you said I hated this movie, you gave like 2 stars.
This was for sure. The 2 films were almost guaranteed white zombie, and I walked with a zombie.
Oh.
Like I'm like 99% sure those were the 2 films.
Okay.
The thing is that technically I put 0 stars as an option. I just didn't give it because I don't like to give movies 0 stars. I think every movie has something is worth it.
Every movie has something in it.
Every movie has something that I appreciate about it that makes it harder for me to rate films below 1 star. And that's true here. And also 1.5 is like such a nothing burger rating. Like, like what the hell
That's
do you
what
get?
I rated Blanca.
Yeah. So let's look at the distribution of zombie traits across all films. We're building to the most important data.
Wait, green skin is actually so
It's low.
Yeah, so things we can know. Here are the problem areas. Cannot be killed, green skin, and fungal zombie are lower than I would expect them to be, and lower than I want them to be. And other importantly, we can see that cannibalism is higher, but I would expect cannibalism to be higher. I'm not worried about that one. The other ones I am worried about.
Why are you worried about them?
It's
It's
just because
okay.
your pool of data is small. It's
Yes,
only 30 films.
I know that. But the problem is, this is all the data I have to work with. This is why I watched 30 films, which is a crazy amount of films, and it took me so long. Crazy amount of zombie films.
That's like probably more films than I watched last year.
Except I watched a lot of films this year. This is why I only did this project because I wasn't in school or classes or working. But these are problem areas. In particular, these two cannot be killed in green skin because they only have one data point. So when we do our data analysis later, it's only going to be based on a single data point, which is not good at all. Really not good at all.
It's like a case study.
Yeah, in this case, it's better to have more data than it is to have less data. More data you can average, less data you can't.
Yeah.
So this is bad, but not much we can do about that. And also, here's the thing. Like I said, this is a subjective rating, so we're going to do some stuff later on that's going to be crazy, but in particular, I don't think these ones would affect my ranking that much if I was just doing it based on vibes. So I'm not too worried about it, but it is a problem. So we'll note that. Yeah. We can also note that our definition of a zombie, we can say that based on this data, zombies are generally cannibalistic, infectious, and assaultative. So that's our good. That's a good general definition for what a zombie is, simply based on this data. Is it true for every zombie? No, but the data says that it's generally what zombies are. So we can look at the breakdown for method of infection and zombieism cause. We can see that getting bit is obviously the highest, and virus. This is what we would expect, right? And so you might want to say that, oh, this looks good because it's what we expect. But there's actually a really important hidden bias that we have to talk about, and that's distribution of film release years.
I
of
was
all watched
just
films.
thinking about that. Like, when did the virus stuff come in?
Jillian, next slide. Don't worry. So let's look at this breakdown. By the way, when you're making plots, this is a terrible binning. The binning is how wide your block is. This is a 1 block wide, so we can see these. This is 2016, I think, right here, and so we can see all the films from 2016. But generally, you would do like a period of 5 years, but I didn't, so it looks a lot sparser than it actually would be. But we can see that it is still pretty fucking sparse, man. Especially, well, here a lot of films were not released here. Okay, so objectively, there's not going to be a lot of data here. This is a huge problem area because a lot of zombie films were released during that period, and I didn't watch them somehow because I googled most popular zombie films. Most of the popular zombie films came out in the 2000s, so that is a problem with my data, and I'm acknowledging that, especially because the percentage of films where each zombieism cause released in the decade is a percentage of the films I watched. So we're going to talk about some cool stuff. So I know the color key is a little bad, so it's hard to see. This right here is, what did I say? This is virus, in case you were wondering, this one right here. So I'm going to talk about some speculation. I'm going to speculate. So first I'm going to identify something. Obviously we can see, going back and forth between these slides, that this matches up. We can see a wide variety, and we can see that a lot of these are like this. This is 100%, and that just means there's one film in that year. But we can see that mostly this is based on very few data points. We can't really say anything. I'm going to say shit anyway. So we can see early on that the main cause of zombies was voodoo or witchcraft. We talked about the reason why this possibly is, and we can see around here there was a huge spike towards radiation and EMF causes. Now I have a speculation for this, and that is because this is when they were testing nuclear weapons. This is around the time, this is the Cold War, and this is right around 1960, or just, I think it was around here.
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Cuban Missile, but that's when they started testing nuclear weapons around.
It was crazy. Like, you don't think about it, but my dad is like hella traumatized from that. He was like, he's always telling me, he's like, we thought we could all be killed by a nuclear weapon any day in that time period, and I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
My dad is the same. But yeah, so this is when they were starting to test nuclear weapons, when there was the Cold War going on. So it makes sense that like radiation and EMF suddenly became the main type of fear. We can say here that the main type started being chemicals. This is when the drug crisis was happening.
Oh.
Interesting. I wonder if that means anything. We can see here that viral based zombies started to become extremely popular. By the way, I just want to say this huge spike, this looks really scary, but that's only because I had like one film in that year. So it ended up being 100%. So this should actually be a bit lower.
Okay.
This looks a little bit scary, but it should be like here or something, but lower. But we see that viral based zombies started to be introduced around here.
Yeah.
And I would speculate the reason this is mostly because I would guess on one hand, viral based zombies were one, a response to like viruses and stuff becoming a bit of a problem. There was like just like more awareness of like vaccines and that kind of stuff. I would also guess that it's sort of a counterculture type thing, as opposed to like the common EMF and chemical based zombies that we're seeing earlier. Just as I would suspect that the new rise we're seeing is plant and fungal based zombies, and I genuinely, I've scratched my brain. I don't think there's a meaning for that. I think it's a counter to the more common, because viral based zombies became really popular. Really, like it's the classic zombie that you think of. They became really popular. So I would guess we're seeing this like sudden spike in like various other types of zombies, and I would guess it's just trying to do something different.
I feel like all these things were based on like what seemed realistic at the time.
Yeah.
Like
What people
radiation
were
seemed
scared
realistic
of.
at the time.
The
And
cause of sorry.
You go ahead.
Like the cause of zombies reflects the fears of the time.
And
Yeah.
now we don't
When
have
was the
like
AIDS epidemic?
probably in the chemicals area.
Yeah.
We don't have like right now. There's no like there's like a more low key drug crisis, and there's no like nuclear crisis. So, but it does, because of like the bugs and stuff, it does seem realistic to like the fungus.
Mhm.
Like when I first watched like The Last of Us, the TV show, I was like, whoa, that seems like it could happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like fun. So I feel like it's what we feel like is realistic right now
Mhm.
is a fungus based.
Well, because like the last
I
one
agree.
did come out, I think around the time when it has that big spike, early 2010s.
Yeah.
Like there's kind of like a little bit of a takeoff, and then it goes way up.
Mhm.
That is fascinating.
True,
I
and
remember
we
in,
should
like,
and we
grade
should note
six.
that this period right here is the bit that's widely represented in the data. So this is the only bit that like is really representative of anything.
Yeah.
So that's the bit you should pay attention to, so we can see kind of weird stuff. So let's talk about the next stuff. Let's talk about the Pearson correlation coefficient. This is the bit where we're gonna start talking about statistics.
Correlation coefficient.
Yes. So let's talk about this. So Pearson correlation coefficient is calculated using this. It's denoted as using either an R, which is traditional, or an M, because it represents the slope, and the slope is M. So what it is it indicates the strength of the relationship between two variables. So it depicts, it tells you how much two variables are correlated. We know what this means. So we can see here that there's kind of 5 types of correlation. This is kind of iffy. But basically the ones you need to know is a positive correlation. By the way, the Pearson correlation coefficient is R. It's between -1 and 1. And so the 3 ones you want to know about is a perfect positive correlation is 1. This is when A increases, B increases. They both increase at the same amount at the same rate. And it's usually, this is a perfect or a strong positive correlation. And we can see that this would also give a positive value close to 1, but it wouldn't be exactly 1. You should note that a perfect R value of 1, -1, or 0 is basically impossible in actual data. It doesn't happen. So you just want to get like as close as possible to the number to indicate your correlation strength. Negative correlation, when A increases, B decreases. They still are correlated, but like opposite. And then no correlation is around 0. The only one we really care about in this case is the positive correlation, or I guess, and also sort of the no correlation, but we're really not talking about the negative correlation. In my presentation, we're not doing it. Just because I think we want to see, basically the reason I'm describing this is because we want to see when this trait happens, does the scariness of the zombie increase? That's what we're looking for. So the next thing we need to talk about is significance and p-values. We all know correlation does not equal causation, right? So you have to figure out whether the correlation is significant or whether it's just kind of some shit, right? So I'm
Sorry, I
explaining.
see the HO. I'm
Yes.
just like, yeah.
So it's usually depicted using a P. This is the formula. You might notice that the T is just because this is a specific type of p-value.
Test.
It's a t-test. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know this. I'm just throwing this on here so it looks cool, like I calculated. Guys, I use Python. They have like built-in functions, so I didn't even write this. Like it's not, like I just want it to look cool. But it's denoted using a P, and I will be using P. So let me explain how this works. So H naught is also known as our null hypothesis. This means, so our null hypothesis, this is basically the what we believe to be true now. So like our base instinct. So in this case, it is that there is no significant correlation between the variables. When this increases, the scariness is not scary. So we're just assuming that it doesn't true. So now we have to prove to ourselves that it is true. And we do this by calculating the p-value using this, which determines the strength of the evidence against our null hypothesis. So how strong the evidence is to suggest that there is actually a correlation. So the p-value is compared to a threshold value. I have chosen 0.05 as standard.
That's the regular standard, at least in psychology.
Yes, it's usually the standard. I'm just being transparent with my data. This is the value I chose. If p is less than or equal to alpha, being 0.05, then the null hypothesis is rejected, else we fail to reject it. So basically, our null hypothesis is rejected, and this means that there is evidence of a significance correlation between the variables. That's what we want. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to say that's what we want, but that's what we want for our data. To show that a trait will cause a zombie to be more scary, we want to see that this is the case. So you'll be seeing these numbers. All you need to know is you want R close to 1, and you want P smaller than 0.05.
Okay. I think I can get those two things.
So let's look at an example. This is an example. So we can see, this is a weighted scatter plot. Most of mine are not weighted, but this is a weighted scatter plot. So we can see movie scariness plotted against zombie scariness, and the bigger the dot is, the number of films that have that exact point. I just for demonstration purposes. So we can see that here, M is 0.8, which is pretty close to 1. It's not like super close, but it's fairly close. And so we can say that this is positive correlation, and we can see that P is a lot. This is, by the way, this is 0.00000000256.
Yeah, when there's an E in there, there's like a lot of zeros.
It's times 10 to the negative 8.
Yeah.
That's what it represents. It's a very, very small number, a lot smaller than 0.05. So we can see that this indicates that there is a significant correlation between the variables. Not necessarily a lot significant, but we can see that this looks like a positive line, almost identically a 45-degree angle, which is what we want. My voice is failing me still.
I know.
Which is what we want. So we're seeing good data. Obviously, it's not perfect. We saw previously, what was the other fucking slide? Here, we can see that this is a strong correlation. You can see it's like all on the line. What we're seeing here is kind of like a medium positive correlation. I would say even worse than that. It kind of looks all the same. But mostly it's just because we have not a lot of points. I'm going to be so honest. But this is pretty good. So let's talk about this. You're going to see all the screenshots. Like this is the output from a Python program, in case you're wondering. So I wrote a Python program which determines the correlation. It basically goes through all of the traits in the films, and it determines which ones have a correlation with zombie scariness using that Pearson correlation coefficient. And significance calculations, the built-in ones in Python. And so then it outputted a list. These are the 10 films that had a positive R value. And then it told me which ones are significant or not based on their p-value. I just wrote a program. And so we can see that there are only 3 that ended up being correlated and significant. And that is can infect others. I will also say that the R values are really not very high. Like it's not a very strong significance, but we're going to ignore that. We're going to ignore that for the sake of usable data. Probably do sample size, whatever, who cares. And you can see the p-values are pretty damn small here. That's pretty good. So we can see it's can infect others, fast zombies, and pack behavior. Keep those 3 in mind.
That's what scares you the most.
According to this correlation,
Jay, I'm gonna get
we're
you some
not.
water.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start exhibiting packed behavior, infecting others, and
Okay.
being really fast. Just scare you.
I also ran these other data correlations. These are not really important, but I kind of want to talk about them. The ones that ended up being significant is a correlation between there being an apocalypse and there being the movie being scary. The other one is the scariness of the zombie and the scariness of the film. We saw that earlier. And then the release year and the scariness of the film. And that's kind of important because it means that I thought that the movies that were scarier were the ones that were released later.
Yeah.
I have a bias to newer movies. But also it could just be that we have a lot more newer movies, so I don't...
Jay, take this water.
Thank you!
I like. I
Holy
couldn't stand it. I was
fucking
like,
God.
I have to give
Holy shit.
As
Bro, my throat was so dry after my presentation. I was actually pretty
Okay. So now let's talk about algorithm replication. Most of the stuff you've seen before, most of the stuff that we talked about in the previous slides, any of you who have taken statistics have probably encountered some of this stuff. This is where your knowledge will stop because this is where I come in. In case you're wondering what I do with data analysis, this is it. So, algorithm replication. So, we want to create an algorithm which gives the same results. Why do we want to do that? If an algorithm can produce the same results as what we manually ranked or rated, then there's a clear and repeated pattern to our logic. It is consistent and not biased. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Also, I like rating algorithms.
It's like when a
Yeah.
study is replicable.
Exactly. I'm replicating our study using an algorithm. Because if our algorithm can predict our behaviors, then our behavior is predictable and ergo not biased,
Yeah.
speculative. So this is our list. This is the same list we saw before. I've just outputted it as a Python list. Not a Python list. This is just what basically this is when I use a print statement. This is what outputs. So I'm just getting you used to what the list will look like because you'll see like 2 more of these. So here's my first attempt. This is elimination method. So it lists all the traits of the zombies of the films. So basically what I went through is I wrote this algorithm. This is what it looks like. It basically went through all the films, or it took the top 3 films with the scariest zombies. So whatever those were. The 3 films that I said had the scariest zombies, and it wrote down all their traits. And then it took the 3 films that I thought had the least scariest zombies, and any of the traits that were in their list of traits got eliminated from the first list. And it outputted any of the traits that were on the first list, but not the second list. If that makes sense. So, pros of this identifies only the scary traits. Cons does not fucking work. This was a stupid ass algorithm and I don't know why I wrote it. But I thought I'd include it because I wrote that whole thing and then I was like, oh, why did I do that? I ran this whole thing and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what traits it is, and it outputs nothing. Because obviously it doesn't. What were you doing, Jay? So attempt number 2, scoring method. So this is a lot of numbers. Bullshit. Basically what I did is for each of the scores of scariness, zombie scariness, I assigned it a modifier, right? Then I ran through all of the traits. So I have a list of all the traits, and I went through each of them, and for each trait, I went through all the films, and I was like, which films is it in? And then I took the scariness zombie rating of those films, added the modifier, and I had like a total. And then I had a score for the trait, right? Then I went back in, and I ran through all the films, and I total up their score by adding those modifiers. If that makes sense. It's very complicated. It's not really that hard. And then at the end, I had a film score using my modifiers. And the bigger score is the higher ranking. And then I basically took the scores and I listed it from highest to lowest. And then I opened a list. Yippee! Pros, relatively accurate, pretty fast. Cons, very hit or miss. You'll see what that means in a second. So we can see here, I did the difference between the actual and the algorithm ranking. And we can see that it got it right. In a lot of cases, it got it right or very close. But when it got it wrong, it got it really wrong. It fucked up sometimes really bad. That's not very good. But it's mostly not that bad because we can see that it actually had a pretty high value. It had a pretty high R value and a very small P value. So fucking cares, I did it. We did it! Replicable behavior. We can see that we got some on the line. Yippee! I wasn't satisfied. So I used another attempt. Here is a manual scoring method. So essentially what I did is you know how I did the modifiers for the last one? Instead of doing that, I just assigned a modifier to each one. instead of going through and calculating based on what I ranked, I just kind of like, I put in scores. These are not what I would rate them. I put in these scores to maximize the R value. I literally went through and I tweaked these scores until I got the highest possible R value I could get. And then I did that. So pros, very consistent. Cons, it takes forever. Every time you add a new movie, you have to change, you have to go through, and you have to go through every single one, rerun the entire fucking program, and you have to, by increasing or decreasing the score until you see how it changes the slope. It's so boring. Fun fact, this is one of the things that we use machine learning for. If you ever have wondered what machine learning is, this is it. This, instead of manually putting in,
But
you
what
would
if the
train.
machine learns too much and becomes too smart, and then what if the machine becomes a zombie? We should
True.
explore that idea.
That's so true. But I think learning, adding or increasing or decreasing numbers is probably not going to turn it into a zombie. It turned me into a zombie, so maybe. But I don't know how to do machine learning, so I kind of did it by hand. But after I did it by hand, my dad came up to me. He's like, "Oh my god, you could just use machine learning." I was like, "I already did it by hand." So this is what the graph looked like. So this is sort of similar. But here's what I'll say about this. It is more often wrong than the other one, but it is more often consistent. We can see that it is consistently wrong.
Yay!
You see, well, I wouldn't say it's bad, but we can see that it doesn't often get it right, but most of the times it gets it like an equal distance wrong. That makes sense. It does occasionally get it like really wrong and stuff here, but it mostly is like what is it, like plus or minus 7 generally, which means it's more consistent. So we can see that this actually gives us a higher R value. You'll notice that that's because it's averaging. It's like getting like above and below, and so it's like averaging out to a straight line. That's kind of stupid, but like it did give us a higher value. It also somehow, for some godforsaken reason, gave us a smaller p-value. I don't even understand how that fucking happened, but it did. So I don't know. So this is our outputted list. I'll give you some time to look through this because there's no fucking way I'm reading it out. But something that I should point out is that both the scoring and the manual algorithm agree that Zombieland is objectively the scariest zombie game.
That's hilarious.
It objectively has the
I
scariest
love how the
zombies.
sadness is ranked 6th and 8th.
They didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. The thing is that the algorithm doesn't have information. Doesn't have all of the information.
No.
It only has the traits of the zombies, and there's only so many traits of the zombies I assigned them, right?
So this is what it considers the scariest in terms of what?
In terms of zombies. So the
In terms of
scariest
data.
zombies.
But also there's
So this is how I ranked the zombie films. Based on my algorithm that I wrote that auto ranks these films, my scoring algorithm did this ranking, and my manual algorithm did this ranking. And we can see that the p-values here, the p is 100. We showed this earlier on the other slides, but the p would be, I'm saying the p is 100 because 100. I meant 1. That should be a 0 there. Sorry, my bad. 1. I told you that a p-value of 1 does not exist. It exists in the context of this because the actual is my true objective because we're trying to replicate it. So my p-value would be 1 here, and then the closer to 1 we get, theoretically the more accurate it should be. I just don't know if that's true though. But here's our comparative ranking. So then we can go in and we can determine the scores or determine the traits that the algorithms outputted as the scariest or least scariest. And so something that's very, very interesting about this is, do you remember the top 3 traits that we discussed in our previous correlation? Notice the scoring algorithm put them in the top 3 in the exact order of of R value. Like the R value, that should be R. I'm stupid. These should be R, not P. But you can see that on the previous slide when we were talking about correlation and stuff, these were the R values associated with it, and we can see that red was first, green was second, yellow was third. We see that exact behavior here. The manual algorithm did some bullshit and did not do the correct thing, but we can see that the scoring algorithm somehow works, something you guys don't know because I didn't mention it, but these 3 traits that are next on the list were also next on the other list. So like, I don't know if I just somehow wrote the greatest algorithm of all time, or if I fucked something up so bad that it's like replicating the same behavior because it's doing the same process, and I have no idea. But I'm taking this as a good thing. So I decided, I looked through my code and I decided this is a good thing.
That's so real.
So what makes a zombie scary to me?
Yes. This is
Based on our data, the actual traits would be can infect others, fast zombie, and pack behavior. And what this means is can turn you into one of them, they move quickly, and there's a lot of them. Which I'm going to be so honest, is exactly it. I nailed it. I would say, if I had to rate these, I would say for sure those 3 would be in the top 3. I don't know if I'd necessarily put them in that order, but for sure, 100% those 3.
Using data to work into your psyche.
Yeah. I also, these also were the top 4, 5, 6 on the other list. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but based on my experience, if I had to add a 4, 5, 6, it would be these 3. Just subjectively, not based on data, I would put Rip People Apart, cannibalistic, and intelligent, but not sentient, as my things. So, that's the end of my presentation, y'all.
That was incredible.
Yay!
That
Thank
was
you.
incredible.
That's
It was
crazy.
everything that I wanted. So
Yeah.
everything
Oh my
I
fucking
wish
God.
that I could do.
Well, you know you can. What the hell is this? Oh.
I don't like. I did
Has
very
it been
little
recording?
like statistics
Yeah.
and data collection
Okay,
stuff
good.
for mine, and it already drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I love this shit.
I have 2
This is-
questions for you, Jay.
Yes.
So my first question is, how long did the data analysis take you? Because I feel like that would take me 5 million years.
Oh my god, the data analysis was my favorite fucking part, and the only reason I wasn't initially gonna do the data analysis, but I added it in because I was having such a
You just
bad
did it for
time.
fun.
I had such a bad time with the zombie films that I was like, I need to do something that I enjoy. Yes, I genuinely did.
Glad
So
that you did
it
that.
didn't. I don't know. It took me longer, but the thing is, I was having fun while doing it. I didn't like do it all at the end. I was like writing the programs as I was watching the films. I would like finish a zombie film and I'd get so excited. The only thing that kept me going throughout this entire project was the fact that every time I finished a film, I got to input the data and I got to see all the numbers go up and stuff. And it like gave me such a rush every time. Like genuinely, I had such a good time with the
You're
data.
such an interesting critter.
I really don't know.
I love that image that you put there. I love that
I
image.
love
It's
that
such a great image.
too.
But my second question is, let's get meta. So you
Hell yeah.
proved your data at the end, but let's get meta. Let's get theoretical. Okay, let's bring it back to the beginning. What does this say about Jay?
What does this say
That you're
about
most.
me?
What are the things that you're most scared of in zombies? What does that say about Jay?
Can
And
turn you into one of them. I'm scared of pain. I'm scared of losing my sense of self. Move quickly. That's because they can catch up to you faster. They're really scary. I don't really like it feels.
It's the urgency. It's the fight or flight.
It's the fight or flight. Like at least when they're slow, it's like I can take. I can just run away
Loss
from
of
them.
control.
Loss of
but
control.
what does it say about you in your real life? Unless have you had? Because I'm trying to figure out why you specifically like. All those things sound scary to me too, but I'm not deathly terrified of zombies.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what, like, unless you've had a real life zombie encounter.
No.
Not yet.
No. Like what? Like what about it?
What does it say about you in your real life?
I don't know. I think
What can you learn from this?
I don't know if I can learn anything.
Come on, fuck yeah,
Well,
I
now
don't
I
already.
know
Fuck this
what
capstone
zombies
question.
I'm scared of the most. But here's something I will say is that I've thought a lot about why I am scared of zombies, and ultimately I think the real truth is just that I have a fear of zombies. Like I have a phobia. I have a basic fear, and that's the real reason. But I've come up with lots of other reasons for why I might potentially like as a metaphor or whatever be scared of zombies, and I think a lot of it has to do with I think it associates with like something being human. I don't like cruelty towards other humans. Like,
You're right.
hot take, I like it when people are nice to each other. And I
Whoa, wait a second.
and I think part of it is like the monsters being people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also the sense of like that kind of like I said, reduction to baser traits, like reducing to your animalistic instincts, that kind of
Like
stuff.
that's all that.
This is
that
kind of crazy in
humans
real life.
are.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of like Call of Duty zombie apocalypse fan
Yeah, I
fiction
know.
and I think a lot of it is also like possibly being killed by something that's wearing the face of someone that you love.
Yes. Yes.
You know? Like that
like-
person is gone.
I think like we talked about Night of the Living Dead and their kind of philosophy of like your neighbor is the monster.
Yeah.
The monsters like are the neighbor, and the violency of the people around you, the violent tendencies of the people around you can have in the right circumstances and that kind of stuff. And I think that is scary. And I think that's at least part of it for me, for sure. You're scary.
I have another follow-up question.
Yes.
Sorry, do you feel like you're in your thesis defense? So at the beginning we started talking about what defines a zombie and what defines a zombie movie.
Mhm.
Given your experience and data, can you answer those two questions?
It's a really hard thing.
Yeah, one thing I noticed like throughout the presentation was how many like descriptions did not have the word zombie
Yeah.
in the description, and it was like creature or something
Oh yeah,
like that.
they love to call their zombies anything but zombie. Even like
Because I feel like zombie has taken on like kind of like a unserious basic connotation. So if you want to make a serious movie, you have to call them like
Yeah.
infected or something like
well,
that.
that's true. The other thing is that so I'm gonna go back to Night of the Living Dead because, like I said, it was the first like real zombie movie. The zombies in this film are not called zombies; they're called ghouls. And zombie as a historical term, was someone like it had a medical definition as well of someone who's kind of like zonked.
Oh,
You know, like
yeah.
like the very
That
like
makes
that's
sense.
why those well, I don't know, it's weird because there's two ways of looking at it. You could look at those old zombies where they're kind of like mind controlled, where they're like a loss of self, where they're just
Yeah.
kind of like shells of their former self, as like a reference to like the like more medical term of like zombie, of kind of like that blank expression stare. Or you could look at it as a kind of iteration on the Haitian term zombie, which is what zombies were originally called in Haitian culture. And I don't know if I don't know what came where. Like I don't know if the medical term came from zombie,
Right.
that kind of term, or if it like they somehow collided and it overcame. I don't really know. I don't remember what the question was. I was just kind of yapping a little bit.
Oh,
I was interested in your question.
You said what makes a zombie based on and a zombie film based on these things.
yeah.
So
I
okay,
had something else I was gonna say, but I forgot what it was. But you can
I
keep talking.
I think it's a really I'm gonna be so honest. I don't have a clear answer based on this. In fact, having completed this project, I'm even more confused. Like for example, the sadness are so like everything about them are so counter to what every other zombie is. And I don't even think they call themselves zombies in the movie, but
Do they
it is
talk in the movie?
yes, they're fully sentient. They have it's not even just that they talk, they speak, they like almost act like their former selves. They have the memories. They're
That makes-
100% the person they were.
it's
just
the limbic system.
The limbic system is fucked up. So like, and they're not undead and stuff, but like, and I'm not even sure, here's the thing, is that I'm not even sure if the film itself markets itself as a zombie movie, but for sure people consider it a zombie movie. So is it a like broad, is a zombie movie simply just a label that we all collectively agree to assign to a film based on a set of traits, or is it a label that needs to be internally defined? I really don't know.
I think it's the first one
Mm-hmm.
because the thing about art is, unfortunately, like you can apply data to art, and I think
Yeah.
you did that really beautifully here. But unfortunately, it's not objective,
Yeah.
and art is generally defined by subjective labels people put on it.
Yeah, I think ultimately, it's up to you. And then I think this was going to be my first draft of that section where I discussed some of the, like, examples of, like, when I talked about Zootopia and all that kind of stuff. My first draft of that was essentially where I was going to be like, what is a zombie movie? It's up to you. You have to decide for yourself what is a zombie movie. And these are the movies that I have chosen that are zombie movies. There are actually a few movies that I originally had on my list. I wrote up a list of about 30 films. I decided on 30 films. I was like, and then I picked 5 more. I actually decided quite early I was going to do 30 films because I think it's a lot of films, but I actually wanted to do 25 films, and then I added 5 buffer films in case some of them ended up being, like, bad somehow. Not bad in terms of viewing experience, but like
data point.
Yeah, like they were like not real zombies or something. Yeah. And then I just kind of decided, fuck it, I'm doing 30 films anyway. I'm already watching these fuckers. I might as well put them in the data. So I ended up with a list of about 30 films, and some of those films I had to swap out on my list because I was like, I put on the film, and I'm like, this is a demon film. Like, it's a demonic possession film. And I think there is some, like, overlap between them, but, like, a film like The Evil Dead or something is a demonic possession film, and I would argue it's not a zombie film. So how the fuck did it end up on my list?
Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people must consider it a zombie.
Ruling out the overlap and just getting the zombie, the pure zombie film.
What I was gonna say earlier is I feel like zombie has become sort of like a goofy, juvenile, basic term. So anytime a movie's trying to be taken seriously, the zombies are never called zombies. They're always called, like, the infected or hungries or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like because it's trying to make them more serious, but also I feel like if a zombie apocalypse actually happened, God forbid, Jay, it won't happen. But if it actually happened, I feel like we would call them zombies because that's what we're used to.
Yes.
Like, that's our reference point. Like,
and
we wouldn't invent a new term for them. We just call them what we know.
Oh, I want to talk about this because this is something I did notice while watching the films. Half the films rely on the characters in the film not knowing what zombies are. Like, it's like a perfectly normal, like, modern society, but somehow they have never seen a zombie film. They don't know what zombies are. And so they're like, what are these? They're the scaries or something. And then the other half of the films are like, people catch it. They're like, holy shit, these are zombies. So we need to apply zombie rules. This isn't something I do want to talk about this because I watched this at some point. This is not a movie, and so I didn't talk about it. But I watched this I think I talked about this at some point. I watched this really shitty show once, and it was a zombie show. And the show ended, like, the last episode, it was the big conflict was this guy, he got bit at the start of the show. And it's this whole thing where he's like, oh my god, I need to tell the people around me. Maybe I can keep it hidden. At the end, in the last episode, he decides, fuck it, I'm cutting my arm off.
Oh, dude.
Fuck it, I'm cutting my arm off, and I'm gonna stop the zombie spread. And it's this big moment where he's like, and he's like a teenager, right? He just cuts his arm off. And his friends or whatever burst into the bathroom where he's cutting his arm off. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I'm cutting my arm off because I'm infected. I'm infected by the zombies. And they're like, bro, it's not that kind of zombie film. The biting doesn't infect you. And so he cut his arm off for no reason. But that's what I mean is that...
No one tell him.
By the way, this movie is shit. This show was shit. It was like, it sounds a lot better.
This is semi-unrelated, but I'm just imagining Twilight with that logic that no one's heard of vampires. Like, could you imagine that scene where Edward's like, say what I am, and Bella's just like, a werewolf? A zombie?
Yeah. But it's one of those things, like, a lot of zombie films, to make their premise work, they have to pretend that zombies are not a thing in their universe. I don't remember what my original point is, but because I've been yapping so long. But essentially, I don't like that. I like it when the people in the film know what they're signing up for. But I also think it leads to often weird scenes, like The Dead Don't Die. I fucking hated that. This is the film Lily and I were going on with all the, like, famous actors and stuff.
It's just, I wanted it to be good so bad. It seemed like it was setting up to something. Like, the whole movie, my experience of watching that movie was the whole movie seemed like it was setting up to something, and then it just ends.
Yes. The movie, it's crazy. They have, like, the first, like, 30 minutes are, like, slow and boring setup, and you're like, oh, they're leading up to something good, and then you realize at some point that they're just, like, like
Not
the movie is
That's
slow
just
and
what it is.
like it's just a slow and boring
It's
movie.
just tedious.
Like-
And then the zombies pull up, and it's still tedious.
Yeah, and you're
But,
like, how the
how did you manage to build up for a zombie apocalypse for 30 minutes, and then the much anticipated zombies show up, and it's still boring and drags on? Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
One of the things that I find so goddamn annoying about that film is that there's a character in that film, and he is really into zombie movies. His whole personality trait in the film is that he knows what to do about the zombies. He's like, we have to cut off their heads. By the way, I don't know why they were talking about that like that was
Yeah, I
like
don't think that's the thing.
they kept being like, as we all know, the most important thing you have to do with all zombies is you need to cut off the head. Not even like kill the brain or
I
whatever.
love when movies make a character like a nerd or expert on something, but you can tell the way they interpret it is just for the plot line of the movie.
Yeah.
Like that, like you just did a research project, and that's not the most common trait of movies. But this guy who's an expert on zombie movies is sure it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, but it was crazy, but he like his whole thing is that he knows about zombies, and it's like it makes the movie worse. like there needs to be some balance to it, I think.
Bro has
But,
that elite ball knowledge.
yes.
It doesn't.
It makes the film worse that he's like so on top of it with the zombies, but yeah, I also
Yeah.
hate when they just like they act like they don't know what
I feel like
zombies
there's
are.
a balance. I feel like the characters should know a normal amount about zombies. I feel like there doesn't have to be a character who's like some sort of zombie nerd, because I feel like that's a really rare
Mhm.
type of person. But also, like, we can't pretend that zombies have never been a
Yeah.
thing.
But also at the same time, I don't think it's a bad thing when a person like knows a lot about zombies. But here's the thing: what does knowing a lot about zombies help? Like
Actually,
at all?
what's kinda crazy is it's like the reverse. It's like the exact opposite in like vampire movies, though. It's like you have a guy who knows all the shit about vampires, but it's like
Mhm.
it has like the opposite effect. I feel like
Yeah.
in Nosferatu, like we went to see that they had the guy that was like, I know everything about this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's rough. I really don't know. I feel like I am officially, having seen 30 zombie movies. I have another 30 on my list. I think I will do a part 2. I know it was like the worst
of
thing
more
ever.
zombie movies.
Yes.
Okay, I
I
have to ask because I was wondering if this speaks to how bad they are, but I realized that none of the Resident Evil movies made the cut.
No, I actually thought about the Resident Evil movies. I actually didn't know where to start with the Resident Evil movies, and because they're based on games and I've seen the games, I was kind of worried it would
they're
impact my.
so unbelievably unrelated.
No,
to
I
the
know.
games, it's
I'm
crazy.
aware of that, but I also
didn't even know
there's
there
like
were
Wait,
movies.
they're not good. There's like 5 or 6.
I
of them.
purposely there's a few types of films I purposely avoided. I purposely avoided the Resident Evil films, especially even for my second list. My second list, I chose films mostly based on filling in data. So I chose a lot of older films. I chose a lot of animated films because I actually didn't end up with any animated films. That's not true. I ended up with one, but I didn't include the data point because it was a movie that I was like, I'm sick of watching zombie movies. On my day off, I'm gonna watch a fun animated movie, and then it was a zombie movie. So I added in the data point, but I didn't include it because it wasn't in my intent. And also I didn't like the movie that much. But my point is and then the third type of movie that I included in my second list is what I decided is my favorite type of zombie movie are the like really shitty B movies that nobody else knows about. So the other day I watched Zombievers. And it was
That's
somehow
some bullshit. I can tell from the title.
Oh yeah, it was some bullshit. But anyway, so that's my point. Is I made a second list. I don't know if I'll go through with it. Or I'm not really sure what else I would say in a second zombie film.
You should. I know you have an anti-sequel thing, but you should watch 28 Years Later.
I know.
I
Well,
watched
maybe
it,
I
it
will, but
gave me-
It's not that I don't want to watch them. It's just that I can't include them as a separate data point because they'll be
it's
the
all
same
about data for you.
It was all about data.
It was just
That was why my sequel is because I knew I was going to be collecting data, and a sequel has the same data. You know, so
Yeah,
it just
because
biases
the
my
same
data.
universe.
Unless they introduce something else.
That is true. That is true. There are some. That was the other reason I didn't want to do the Resident Evils because they have the different like types of zombies, and I'm not really sure what to do when a film has multiple types. You saw this when I talked about Warm Bodies. Like, what do I do if there's 2 types of zombies in a film?
Yeah.
Do I?
You just like
I can't make 2 data points because of the way my algorithms are set up. They rank by
Oh.
name, and if it has the same name, it fucks everything up.
yeah.
Well,
So-
because you could just do it. Because aren't your data points movies? So couldn't you just like put down all the traits from both zombies for the movie? And just the movie is like the decider?
Yes. And that's mostly what I was doing. And that's what I did with like the bonies and stuff. But with like Resident Evil, for example, they have like really like wildly different zombies, and I'm just not really sure what to do with that in that kind of situation.
Probably almost hit like almost every single
Are
category.
they taking a anarchist approach to what zombies are in Resident Evil?
It's been so long since I've seen it, because I know they have like the normal ones, and then they have the weird funky ones.
Okay.
So are they normal zombies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then the weird funky zombies, which aren't zombies.
I
but
think I
those are
might
the
stop my
normal zombies.
recording now that I'm at 15